Good evening, everybody. This second to last round of the GPVWC Formula Sprint 1 season is here, and it is Yas Marina in the United Arab Emirates. My name is Eoin Harmon, and this evening, as usual, I am joined alongside me in the commentary box by Ed Hunter. Ed, how are you getting on?
Good, thanks. Of course, we're getting to the end of our GPV season, aren't we? And it seems FS1 is one of the few where the Drivers' Championship hasn't been decided yet. I'm pretty sure TOP on 761 points with Spark, the next closest on 500. If they haven't already won it in Japan, I'm pretty sure they're about to seal it here in Abu Dhabi. But Drivers' Championship still 47 points separating Jack Mayer from Simon Frelick, with I think Thomas Harvey another 92 behind. So he's on 92 behind both of them, I think. Yeah, but so he's definitely a little bit out of it, and it's really a TOP exclusive infight over this championship. But as we look at qualifying beginning already, it's going to be interesting to see who gets that pole position, whether it's going to be one of the two TOPs, whether someone like Carlos Martin in the Netrex or Moritz Kropp, who of course won memorably in Japan for Lunark, can maybe spoil the party a little bit. Simon Frelick has to have a few goes turning in that first chicane down the back.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, matter of fact, Thomas Harvey is not in attendance tonight, unfortunately, and it is without any question without TOP 1v1 for the championship. They are the team's champions for 2023, and they will be certainly pondering whether they want to take the promotion up to Super Lights or whether they're happy here. But at the moment, Jack Mayer has a 47-point lead, 404 versus 357. So if Mayer can increase that lead by one more point across these two races today, then I believe he is the champion. We'll get confirmation of that as this session carries on, but we're getting our first time on the board, and the first first blood goes to Simon Frelick, 1 minute 32.1, 1.5 tenths clear of Carlos Martin, who I expect will be third placed in the championship by the end of this evening. And here's a TCS off substitution, Klaffenbach, who's in for Loic Mounier tonight. So that's an absolutely splendid time to get his job started for this crucial penultimate round.
Yeah, 132.194, so only 100th slower than Frelick's fastest time in free practice as well from a few minutes ago. So looking very, very strong for Simon then, like you say, but Jack Mayer, we probably haven't quite seen the best of him yet. If we look at Juan Fuentes in the EP lap car, circulating down in 25th, looking to get a lap on the board, of course. But it'll be interesting to see where the threats come from, because like I say, Klaffenbach has had a very, very competitive time there in the TCS off, which is interesting. We're very used to seeing Alex Lahou, one of the TCS offs that's able to spoil the party in qualifying, getting on pole position a few times this season, as Tuamela gets very, very close to the DRS board, actually. So that looks like just the exit of a turn 8 there. It comes towards the very, very fast sort of, this has replaced the chicane near the back of the circuit. It's a long left-hander, of course, and it goes back towards the sector 3 part now. This is the part of the circuit that's been there since the beginning, of course. Just needs to make sure you get your trail braking correct here for, this must be 10, 11, 12, and 13. And he's, of course, filling in for Massey Chiller. There we go. No, Tuamela, he hits the wall as well on exit, just brushes it, I think, yeah. And now just one more corner to go. The right-hander, 90-degree right-hander, very tricky, actually, especially entry and exit are quite tough there because you can get caught on the curb. But Tuamela does good enough for 15th place, so I think there's more time, though, in that built-in Volpino.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you can definitely dig in and try again with one or two small things to improve upon. Here's Fuentes, currently 23rd. So you'll need to get into the 1:34 zeros or better just to stand a chance, really. Latina has put a Frisland into P5, so that is very impressive to say the least. He's warming up for another run here. So, the Yas Marina circuit is a splendid facility and has certainly the chance to be the showcase of a championship battle, but not necessarily a finale, as we have Interlagos as the traditional location for the end of season showdowns in GPVWC. David Wasserman for Pixelite 16th at the moment. He'd be keen to try and close in on one of those points paying positions. Lahu, his time is only good enough for 18th at the moment, but I'm sure we know how talented he is in single lap qualifying, or a one lap pace, I should say. So I'd expect his name to be closer to our provisional pole sitter, Freilich.
Yeah, and a great time from Yasser Latin as well, because that time really backs up what he did in qualifying at Suzuka as well, where Latin was able to, I think, get a top 10 finish in race 1 as well. So it's great to see him and Friesland building on that momentum.
Yeah, indeed. Hopefully, the sound issues aren't too bad there. Just think something's bothering Ed's internet at the moment. But yeah, nevertheless, Freilich has achieved purple in Sector 1 at the moment. Run down to the now smooth hairpin at turn 9 coming up now. So let's see how he takes it on the chin. Yeah, a little bit of a wiggle, but it's perfectly fine. Purple again, Sector 2. And now at last he can think about the technical sections coming up here underneath the hotel. Here we go, left, and another left coming. Yeah, barely any adjustment in the wheel. He takes the 2 corners as if they were one. Now the right-handers to end the lap, and we'll see if Freilich can challenge a 1 minute 31 territory time. Can he do it? Oh, he's so close, but a 132.0 has got to put up the challenge to Martin. He withstands it, but Martin back into second. Lahu improves to P8, but then it's quickly P9 as there's more movement around the place. Mart's Crop also threatening for pole position here. Purple second sector. He just needs to secure the final corner and then the dash to the start-finish line. And will it be good enough? No, it's just P5 for the Lunark at the moment. Jack Mayer, championship leader, P4. So yeah, Klaffenbach looking like an outside bet for a strong result.
Yeah, only 4 attempts though separating Martin and Watson, so that's P2 and P8 then, so it's incredibly close in that battle inside the top 10. Sorry about earlier, I don't know exactly what happened there. I think maybe my computer's just starting to die, but hopefully they'll be good enough to survive this first race at the very least, as we look at Vincent Gutt. Again, another good driver to clip through the DRS board, which looks slightly comical, but that is the fastest line, the shortest line, sticking right to the inside there before pulling to the outside to get the ideal turn in for that, is that the number turn 9 hairpin there, and going as wide, even going off track there actually, as Vincent gets. So that shows you can carry a little bit too much speed there, and it's almost like, because it's a slightly banked corner now, isn't it, as well? It's a 2021. And we now see Frank Hamming going through the same corner, slightly wider a mid-corner, but keeps it tighter on exit there. And that's going to help the HGP driver there. He's down in 16th place. Frank Hamming, his Achilles heel's always been qualifying, hasn't it, Eoin? So Frank Hamming desperate after what happened at Singapore as well. And then he had a bit of a tricky round in Suzuka too, to definitely improve and end his season on a high note. Oh,
yeah, that was a close one. Hamming, he thought he had a race victory to his name, but it was decided in the steward's room that it was disallowed back in Singapore. Oh, and a crash there for Menno Clont, so he's without his rear wing. Malta Force, yeah, their season has unravelled towards the end, unfortunately, so we'll check out what happened here. Oh, yeah, back end into the barrier, turn 14. But he wants to get away from his accident scene, and yeah, he's just
scene of the crime, yeah,
all over the place. Yeah, get away from the accident scene.
More spinning away than getting away, sadly, without the rear wing there. But that image kind of sums up Malta Force GP's really their second half of the season. Really, it's all gone a little bit pear-shaped for them, which is a big shame because it looks like their chances of finishing in the top 4 in the Teams Championship are starting to fade here because the likes of Build Some Volpino, TCS Off Racing have really closed in on them in the last couple of rounds. As we look at Latinen, still fighting away to try and keep in the top 8 here, which would be a great qualifying once more for Friesland. And they need every point they can get in their battle. I think they're 9th place in the Teams Championship at the moment, fighting with the likes of EP Lab and HTP, of course. As there we go, Latinen goes... actually, it takes a very, very perfect line here. He's not getting out of shape at all here until the pit lane, where he completely spins it while trying to go into the pit exit, which is surprisingly easy to do, of course. Yeah, you saw he just got the rear tyre off onto the curb and got his braking a bit wrong there. But other than that, it was looking quite neat and under control.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that was the replay, I think. Yeah, just, yeah. Oh, no, he's
Klaffenbach doing the same thing.
Klaffenbach, yeah. So, yeah. Alex Maggio says he's only a teenager at the moment, so, yeah, very, very young, up-and-coming talent there, that's for sure. Yeah.
Klaffenbach, right?
Yeah, Klaffenbach, yeah.
Very interesting. We got the new generation sneaking their way through into FS1 at the end of the season, which is great to see. But Julian certainly making a name for himself, out-qualifying Jack Mayer at the moment, but we'll see if Jack Mayer has anything to say about that. At the moment, is Jack Mayer really pushing the limit here on the exit there of that first chicane? And you have to say, it's looking advantage to Monfrelix to try and keep the points battle alive at the moment with him in P1. Jack Mayer over 3 tenths behind.
Yeah, it's certainly all guns blazing here for Freilich. He knows it's his job and no one else's to make sure he stays in the championship hunt, because if he retires and loses out on point, Air will be within touching distance of the title. So yeah, Shimon has to finish on the podium realistically. But yeah, even if Jack gets on the podium as well, he could beat him twice and narrow the gap sufficiently. But yeah, too much curb there for Mayer, and he won't actually get to register that time the way he wanted to. So yeah, he has to give up the ghost there. Freilich crossed the line. 132, no, 26 there. So,
Mayer wants to get another lap get a move on.
Yeah, Mayer needs to get a move on, yeah.
Yeah, because he's really got to exit the pits now. And of course, it's the underground pit exit as well. I think actually that might be it for Jack Mayer. There's not quite enough time left. So yeah, he made that. That was really him putting everything into that lap and it not paying out. So our championship leader really putting himself under an awful lot of pressure. And Klaffenbach, Martin, and Freilich are going to out-qualify, and possibly Moritz Kropp as well if he can end with a decent lap here.
Yeah, this will be really important for Martin. As I was saying earlier, he is almost certainly going to end the night third in the championship, so best of the rest with Thomas Harvey absent and Frank Hamming a little bit further behind. So yeah, maybe Frank will want to make me eat my words because he has a chance as well, with Mike Quint also absent. So that battle for the bronze medal is certainly heating up. Danny van der Neet for Maltaforce. Yeah, speaking of Mike Quint's car, that's the number 11, currently out of his hands and in the control of Danny van der Neet. So he wants to try and get into the top 20 and beat his teammate with the final 25 seconds to go. So yeah, Martin's lap underway here, and he will not be interested in the title fight. He will just want to bring home as many more trophies as he can.
Yeah, improvements from Harry Smith, Joe Gillette, of course, who was in action in FS2 back on Tuesday, finished second in the reverse grid race. Klaffenbach's also improved in the first sector as checkered flag is out, Owen, so it's the last chance for anyone to get themselves up the grid. The likes of Mayer, Watson, Russo, Toamella, and Fuentes at the very back, they're all done. They will not get another lap in.
No, unfortunately not. So yeah, it is open for a wide variety of drivers. Perhaps the top 5 with minus Mayer, of course. Yeah, they have a chance at pole. Certainly Lucchini, Latinen, they're probably a little bit too far back unless they dig really, really deep. But yeah, Klaffenbach, purple sector too. But before I could even comment on that encouraging time, yeah, he's lost it. So that is the end of his session. Martin down in the second sector, avoiding the turn 14 wall into the double right-handers. got to avoid what Latinen did a little bit earlier. And Mayer, of course, spot on. But is it enough? Oh, not quite. He does improve, but it's not in the 132 zeros. Crop gains 2 places there, P3. That puts Clapham back down, and therefore, yeah, he won't be able to improve. Latinen, though, can he gain any positions here with track evolution? No. How about Lehu? It's a little bit outside the realms of possibility, unless this third sector is a fantastic one. How about it? No, unfortunately, yeah, he did get a green finale to his lap.
Lost too much in the middle sector, Lehu, there. Yeah,
exactly.
But, wow, great late effort from Krop, and also Martin to be only a 10th off of Frelick, who's looked absolutely on rails all session. The top 2 put an absolutely fantastic display throughout there, and let's not forget Claffenboak. What could he have done if it were not for that slide into the hairpin turn? As there's Jack Mayer, that's how his session ended, just too far on the curb, and he even hit the wall just before that as well. As here's what's happened to Julian Claffenboak. Gets a little bit too greedy of his entry speed and tries to hold on exit here, and there the rear just gets away from him.
Yeah, that was a desperate situation. He did his very best. He should still be satisfied. It is his FS1 debut, and he's on the second row of the grid with illustrious names in front and behind. So yeah, well done to Julian. And yeah, that completes our session. Szymon Frelick, the first task of his night is done. He has pole position, and it is a must-score event for him, because Jack Mayer at the 47-point advantage lead he's got, he could be champion by just matching Szymon's results. So there we go. That's one way to stop your teammate taking the title so soon. Nevertheless, Carlos Martin, second place for him, another stellar job. Moritz Krop bringing Lunark to more success here. Julian Claffenbach has the second row on his debut, as I say. Jack Mayer, P5. He knows he has a difficult balancing act to perform, but he's going to give it his best shot. Then the rest of the top 10, Amari Watson there rising at the end nicely. Mirko Lucchini, Yassi Latinen, Alex Lehu, and Frank Hamming. Vincent Gutt is P11 for Spark, with David Wasserman, Federico Russo, Oliver Taras, and Harry Smith in the points-paying positions. Lucas Tylene, Joe Gillette, Matthias Gazowski, Craig Patterson, and Noah Tuamela have the top 20. So Tuamela, the only build sim on the circuit tonight. Then we have Philip Koenig, Menno Klant, Danny van der Neet, Christopher Svillo, and Juanma Fuentes for 25 entrants out of a possible 30. So yeah, there's still plenty of talking points, even though one championship is done and dusted. TOP all conquering as the successful duo there in the team's championship. It's really a case of, can Spark hang on to second place with the resurgent Netrex? Multiforce are looking very exposed in P4, for example, Ed. So it is certainly a case where we have the headline news to worry about, but also a lot of smaller events, but they're very important for those other teams and drivers.
Yeah, awful lot of pride, a little bit of prize money as well at stake too. Netrex, as you say, 470 points. They're just 30 behind Spark. Both Netrexes in the top 6, and the Sparks 11th and 18th, I believe, on the grid. So that is very much advantage Netrex if they can get both cars to the finish. Omari Watson, very, very quick, doesn't quite have the same finishing record as Carlos Martin, but we never know. Although, having said that, I just looked at the result sheet, and I think Martin actually has an S, but they were all early in the season, whereas Omari Watson has his DNFs more spread. He has 3, so 2 less, but they're spread a bit more evenly across the season. But and then, as you say, that battle between 4th place Multiforce GP, just 10 points ahead of TCS off, and then HDP are another 20 behind as well, or 19 behind TCS off, I should say. So it's certainly within the realms of possibility for TCS off with their 2 drivers, both just in the top 10, that they can outscore Multiforce, who didn't qualify well at all of either driver. It's sad to say. With Menno losing his rear wing, and Danny van der Neet, I think, qualifying 20th. And then we've got Bilds and Volpino, I think, and 9 points behind HGP as well. So really 4th through to 7th is surprisingly close, it must be said. And then we've got Alpha Delta another 20 points behind. And really it's everyone else near the back just trying to scrape as many points as they can to get themselves as far from the back of the standings as they can, really, and just into the top 10, which is where you've got the likes of Frizzlin, EP Lab, and Butler Motorsport, and of course...
well, look at that.
Oh,
carnage.
Sorry, my monologue got interrupted there.
Sorry, Ed. Yeah, it was a barrel rolling set of vehicles. That must have been one of the Santen cars, I believe.
Yeah, Santen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just thinking about them because they are down at the very back of the championship, having joined quite late in the season. Oh no, they've had a very sporadic campaign. There's 5 points to their name, all courtesy of Lucas Filan, I believe, with 15th and 12th. So yeah, Santain could definitely do with a few more points and less crashes.
Yeah, fewer crashes.
You get airtime either way.
Please, yeah, be ideal. But yeah, Heigo Poom in the broadcast direction seat. Yeah, he'd be scrambling to figure out what happened, even just to let us know in our ear what resulted in such a mega shunt. That would be very interesting to hear. Yeah, this is just the time to get a little bit of the jitters out of your system. If you're going to have a crash, you may as well have it in the warm-up when it's not so crucial to the main event itself. So yeah, we'll see. There we go. Oh, he must have hit those sausage curbs on the outside of turn 3. I'd imagine, yeah, turn 3, very dangerous if you go too far wide there. And a Roan GP car also taking a heavy shunt to the back. Yeah, it was a terrifying incident, and yeah, hopefully nothing has been caused by any force feedback will have damaged his hardware. So yeah, hopefully he'll be able to carry on as normal.
Yeah, certainly. Like you say, it's a sort of incident that you really don't want to be wearing a VR headset for, because you need a bucket or a paper bag close to hand in that scenario. But yeah, this is where, as you say, everyone needs to calm down. I think Jack Mayer especially is going to be starting feeling the pressure here, because if he finishes in 5th and his teammate Simon Frelick wins, that's 14 points that Simon Frelick can take out of him. So instead of being 47 points ahead, might only be 33 ahead going into race 2 if it finishes like this and we don't have a dull race with no overtaking, which I sincerely doubt we will get, because the FS1, they always love to put on the show, and I think Jack Mayer is not going to settle for 5th here. He's going to fight if there's any opportunity to gain a few places in this and get himself on the podium here and limit the damage that Frelick can do to him.
Yeah, that's it precisely. If you lose an average of 10 points, that's still good enough to be the champion, to be a winner by 7 points. With the 4 races to go in these 2 rounds. So yeah, that is one objective, that is one target that Mayer can go for, but that's a very, very conservative option. And I know, considering how strong he's been all season long, barring perhaps the Australian round, it was hit and miss for him there. So that was probably his most disappointing event, because he knew that was out of his control. Like, he had the victory in race 1, and then the DNF, he was probably en route for another good result, and his teammate, of course, retired as well in that same event. So once that double DNF happened, it never reared its ugly head in the European rounds or anything like that. So now that we're in the second last race of the season, yeah, it hopefully won't be another case of double DNFing for the TOP guys. We want to see them at their very best and putting a fight for everybody in the championship. So yeah, Mayer, I'd imagine, will want at least 2 podiums. That'll get him very close to the championship.
The other thing is, I wonder if he would be quite happy if Carlos Martin gets ahead of Simon Frelick at the start and holds him up, backs his teammate into him with the group that he's in, because that could get things very, very interesting indeed. And we have seen Martin fight for victories on occasion as well. I'm sure he'd love to bag another one here, especially with 2nd in the team's championship up for grabs. Him and Amari Watson have been pushing for it, and it's really up to Vincent Gutt and whoever, I think, who was the other Spark driver that they brought in to replace?
Patterson's in the seat tonight.
Craig, it was Craig Patterson, wasn't it? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's up to Gutt and Patterson to really try and stop that from happening. Patterson, of course, has only done a couple of races in FS1 before. Vincent, of course, has been there all season, so big opportunity might come in race 2 if Vincent can finish in the top 15 here. But at the moment, Spark, you have to say, both them and Multiforce GP even more so, looking a bit vulnerable to the usurpers behind, you might say, who are really putting their all into this late stage of the season, even though the Drivers' Championship, yeah, as you say, it's between our team's champions drivers, Jack Mayer and Simon Frelick at TOP. And yeah, it's going to be interesting to see who makes the best start and what strategies they go for in race 1 here, because Abu Dhabi's an interesting one with the tyres, isn't it? Because we see track temperature, I believe, is, if I'm not mistaken, it's sort of, 24 degrees, I think. Ambient temperature 31 degrees, so it's not too high. Of course, it says sunny, but that just shows us it's not raining because it's actually nighttime, of course, in Abu Dhabi, as we see on screen. So it'll be interesting to see, because there's quite a lot of long, constant radius corners and chicanes as well here. So the tyres are really put through it, and we saw at the very end of the real-life 2021 race exactly the disadvantage between fresh tyres and used tyres, as we see one of the Lunarks absolutely gunning it through the turn 5 hairpin there and letting the rear hang out. That might have been Moritz Krum. Or was it Oliver Taras?
Yeah,
Taras,
yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Taras in the Lunark. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ed. The tyre strategy, it's not a case of the softs will burn out instantly. They should have decent degradation. But if you go longer on the, let's say if you're 11th downwards, you could go on the medium or the harder compounds, no problem. You can get a decent stint out of them if necessary. So yeah, it is a case probably, the usual soft to harder tyre one stopper should be possible. Maybe someone could take a gamble in race 2, but yeah, I would say the soft tyres would be suitable, but yeah, if you push them too hard, then of course you'll jeopardize your race.
Yeah, and because we all remember what happened in Japan with Martin, where Netrex are usually really on top of strategy. Martin inexplicably pit for, I think, another set of softs, and then had to pit for, I think, mediums or hards right near the end, and ended up finishing, I think, 5th, when a podium would otherwise have been up for grabs. So he was fighting for the lead, but it was all sort of a mirage. It was somewhat illusory. And I think TOP won that one pretty comfortably in race 1 in the end.
Yeah, they got the 1-2 finish. Yeah, they've been very impressive in the race 1s, such as certainly the very beginning of the season back at Imola. Got the 1-2 in race 1 there. 1-2 race 1 in Melbourne. 1-2 as well. Where was it?
It's easier to name the race 1 because they didn't win.
Singapore, yeah. So yeah, their favourite race is certainly the race 1s, as they're usually challenging for pole position. And of course, yeah, mixed fortunes around the place. If certainly Frelick double DNFing in Montreal, that's proven very costly. If we want to start predetermining how this championship has gone, yeah, you would look at Montreal and say, yeah, that was the one that got away from Shimon. Whereas Jack had the greatest misfortunes at the earlier rounds. The race 2 at Imola and race 1 at Sakir. That's where he struggled the most. But yeah, he's built upon all those previous setbacks, and ever since the Nürburgring, he's been in the points each and every round.
Yeah, and I think in both cases, Canada for Frelick, I remember, I think he was having connection issues, if I'm not mistaken, and then sent back in race 2, and then there was a crash. So it sort of all stemmed from things beyond his control. The Nürburgring incident for Mayer also happened because of something beyond his control as well, where the wheel died on him. So, and they're not the only ones. We know Mike Quint has been affected by this quite a lot in the last couple of times he's attempted to drive. His game has decided not to play ball. I think Harvey's the only one of our championship contenders who's not had any issues, and for him it's just him not being available for enough rounds that's really ruled him out, I'm afraid, which is a big shame because he's got a lot of good wins this season. Canada definitely comes to mind, race 1 there, race 2 in Hungary as well, even back in race 2 in Australia as well. So 3 good wins for Thomas Harvey and Spark, and that's kept them in second in the team's championship. Poor Vincent Gutt and Craig Patterson have really got to go on their own this time, and it may be just a little bit too tricky for them. But if they can keep the points battle alive going into Brazil, And they might just stand a chance of beating Netrex here. But Netrex have been looking absolutely mighty in the second half of this season.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And there we go. You can see on our calendar, 14 tiles have faded out. We've the 2 remaining. Abu Dhabi right now coming up next, and then the Brazilian GP finale on October 26th. So yeah, each and every fortnight, Thursday fortnight we've spent together since March has been a pleasure, and I hope for these 29 laps for race 1 and 19 laps for race 2 we'll deliver once more. And I see in the YouTube chat, Ed, you've got a lot of supporters. So yeah, fair play to you, Ed.
I'm not even driving. That is
I know. Yeah, you have a good fan club there.
Oh, I see Luke Mitchell, who I know is driving for me at the moment in ERC British Touring Cars. I think he won race 1, I'm pretty sure, because I had a peek at that. And I think he's been sending me a few messages as well. I know he had to get special permission from his team to let him do this. So that's great. It's just likes of Rados. Dan Hadjek, of course, who... well, he's one of the FS2 drivers who were interesting discussions going on with him as well in FS2 about his future between his current team Reading Game and potentially any new teams that might be joining that championship. But we'll give you more information when we can. Yeah, everyone praising me and each other, which big loving in the comments, like you say. Even Menno getting a few Menno clonk, says Josh Downard, describing the crash from qualifying. But yes. Klaffenbach is apparently, like you say, definitely a teenager, and Diggy is going to start on the second row then. So this is a great opportunity for him to be one of the youngest podium finishers in FS1 as well.
Yeah, that would be an extraordinary feat. But we move on now to our formation lap, and let's have a look at those graphics to line out all of our drivers. Szymon Frelick, it's a must-score result for him tonight. On pole with Carlos Martin second, Marit Kropp third, and our youngster Julian Klaffenbach fourth. Jack Mayer, championship leader P5. Watson sixth place for Netrex. Lucchini and Latinen 7th and 8th. Completing the top 10, we have Alex Lahou and Frank Hamming. Vincent Gutt leading the way for Spark in 11th, and David Wasserman as P12. Pixel 8 will be eager to see how he gets on. Federico Russo, Oliver Taras 13th and 14th. Harry Smith for Rowan GP in 15th. Lucas Tylene running solo for Santen, P16, eager for some points. Joe Gillette and Matthias Gazowski 17th and 18th. Craig Patterson and Noah Tuamela 19th and 20th. Next up in 21st, it's Philip Koenig, Menno Klont, P22, the team leader now for Multiforce. Danny van der Neet is our latest substitute for Multiforce. Christers Philo in P24. And Juanma Fuentes, 25th and last for EP Lab, but certainly not the least. So good luck to all these drivers. Objectives, whether they're going for the championship or just a chance to impress and end the season on a successful note. With this round and Brazil coming, we'll certainly spice things up a bit. But yeah, will Carlos Martin go for broke here, try and challenge Szymon, and give Netrex the chance to go second in the team's championship? That is certainly the number one story after qualifying. A driver with everything to lose and another on fine form who wants to deliver for his team with time running out.
Yeah, and let's not forget Moritz Kropp in third. Lunark, they took their first win last time out in Japan, and they won another one as soon as possible. Moritz Kropp, I think, looking very, very fired up after late effort in qualifying. So look at Fuentes just trying to get maximum temperature into his tyres before he rushes off into the night. So the Spaniard finds his grid slot, and he should be the last man on the grid.
Yeah, he found that grid spot in no time at all, and we can now have the red lights on to indicate the final signal, and they're away. Bit of a long haul, but watch out for the inside line there. Carlos Martin will want the slot inside now. Watching out on the outside is Maritz Kropp. They're going to go wheel to wheel, but that's an ideal start for the pole. On pole, Szymon Frelick with Jack Mayer watching with intent in the background. Klaffenbach has slotted into P5, so a bit of a drop there for him. But he'll try and watch out for Watson. And there we go, Mayer having a peek, but no success. And this is the other Lunar car. and that will be the rundown now.
Taras.
Yeah, Taras, of course. Yeah. Here's a look. Yes, this is Claffenbach. Can you get the inside on Mayer? This will be a turn up for the books for sure. No, he does
don't
avoid.
crash into Jack Mayer,
Yeah,
Julian.
three abreast here. Gut, Lehu, and Wasserman. And Lehu has to use a bit of the runoff. And yeah, he's weaving about the place trying to regain his bearings. Yeah, the green flag LEDs are flashing to indicate no problems. Perhaps Danny Van Der Neet has lost some time at the start, but yeah, it's not too bad. Oh, wide. That is Taras wide for sure. A few cars perhaps left. Yeah, that's Taras now struggling a lot. He may have to yield just so he can regain his composure. How about Frelich? Yeah, this is a man on a mission here. A beautiful start to the race. And Maritz Kropp now P2.
Yeah, it was a really, really good start from Kropp, actually. You saw him getting alongside all the way around the outside of Martin, and he was very forceful through turns 1 and 2, and that was what enabled him to just hold on. As there we go, Joe Gillette has blown the engine on his EP lab car, and that's a big shame there. Joe really showed what he could have done in FS2, and he goes no further in the race. So that's unfortunate for him, but I'm sure we'll see more of Joe in race 2.
Yeah, he'll try again in the sprint race coming a little bit later on. But at the moment, we still have 24 runners. No one has had to pit for repairs. So it's a relatively clean start. But yeah, as you can see on the timing tower, it's Tuamela, the big winner, gaining 5 places and a point for his troubles. Tylene up 3. But yeah, Svillo here looking to see what can be done with his soft tires. That's an inside move on Fuentes, who of course has gained 4 positions himself. But he wants to fight back. DRS still not available to the drivers. It's another lap until that occurs. But yeah, Danny Van Der Neet is watching to see if one of these drivers yields, because that'll give him the ideal inside line into turn 9. But no, Fuentes stays behind. And this is a replay of Gillette's engine failure. So yeah, that'll be a tetchy one for Tuamela and the build sim. Oh, just let go of him completely into the penultimate corner.
And it must have failed mid-corner as well, so maybe he ran the engine a little bit too hot on the grid and it just let go near the end of the first lap.
Yeah, that is a very likely scenario. Maybe Joe has the intel that could confirm it for us. But yeah, DRS is now active on lap 3, and Mayer versus Martin, all on the softer compounded tires. Yeah, the vast majority of drivers just want to get the early lap times on the high fuel, get them sorted out. But yeah, at the moment, yeah, because of the train effect, Kropp is giving Martin the slipstream, so Mayer will not have much of a duel just yet. Here's Harry Smith, currently 17th. He's looking at the back of Gazowski, but no way through. But now Fuentes wants his position back, and yeah, that'll be Svillo. Oh, takes a ride at the curb there. And now the second bite of the cherry coming up now. Here comes DRS for Svillo. Fuentes doing everything he can to maintain that inside line, guide his opponent to the outside curbs, and there we go. Fuentes has regained that position.
Oh, and Svillo goes wide for good measure as well on exit turn 9. But we do have an explanation from Joe Gillette. He says the car went from 4th gear to 1st gear for no reason. Alexandro Maggio blames Thrustmaster wheel, and Joe Gillette seems to agree with him. So there we go. That is why Joe Gillette is out of the race. Our sole retirement so far, but still 24 cars running. And as you said, Simon Frelich 7 tenths ahead of Moritz Kropp in the lead, but we do see the likes of Wasserman starting to gain ground as well. And this is a replay of what happened to Joe then. So look at the gears just above the wheel in 4th gear, and it suddenly switches down to neutral and then into 1st, and that's what makes the engine go poop.
Yes, indeed it does. So yeah, confirmed. Have the video evidence. We have the driver's perspective, so thank you everybody for that. Mirko Lucchini, currently 8th placed. He's perhaps concerned about what's going on in front of him, because Watson versus Latinen, that could brew up very soon. Frank Hamming in P9. It'll be another patient run for him at the moment. But Harry Smith, he realizes this is his moment against Gazowski. And again, yeah, that chicane, the 6-7 chicane, very, very tricky. Taras goes for an extraordinary move. Yeah, catching. That would be who was it again? Sorry.
It's Koenig, I think.
Yeah, Koenig, yes.
And there we go. There's that Spillo trying to go around the outside of Craig Patterson and one of the Hyperions as well. And there it's Harry Smith trying to attack Gazowski, of course.
Yeah.
We were seeing earlier, and it looks like one of the that's Menno Clont at the back of this train. It's Harry Smith just about avoids hitting the back of the Hyperion. But that was a bit touch and go, quite literally there.
Certainly was, yeah. So these drivers still not close enough to a point at the moment, but yeah, it is crucial for Gazowski. He's on the harder compound, so he may be a bit vulnerable in these early laps. At the moment, he is hanging on very neatly. Yeah, there in the background is Taras for Lunark, having passed Koenig, taking full advantage and wide. That would be Menno, I believe. So Menno losing out on some time there. Fuentes not close enough to take advantage. So yeah, these 4 drivers may become 3 unless DRS saves Menno's skin here. So Menno Clont, yeah, really in need of a little bit of a reprieve there, having gone wide in the opening corner.
Who's fastest at the moment, as we see Harry Smith get a brilliant run on Gazowski this time into turns 5 and 6, and Harry Smith has definitely got the inside. And he's going to have to hold on here because Gazowski brakes really late on the outside, holds the inside on the exit, and he's going to get DRS here. But the fastest man on track at the moment is Julian Klaffenboek, who's 6 tenths now behind Jack Mayer. So Klaffenboek really starting to light up the timing screens as here we go. Gazowski to the outside then into turn 9.
Yeah, there's just no rest between these 2 drivers. One has the straight line speed and the grip on softs, and the other just has that composure on mediums. So yeah, really impressed with saying Taras again on a serious attack. He is dueling with Svillo for position. So yeah, Rowan GP getting a lot of airtime, and yeah, they will probably hope that their strategy pays off down the line. But if these drivers are just having ding dong battles, it is going to be difficult to keep things calm when cool heads need to prevail.
Yeah, so this is the banner for second we're looking at the moment. Klaffenboek chasing Mayer, chasing Martin, chasing Kropp, and then the small 6-tenth gap to Simon Frelick, who's the only one who doesn't have DRS. Look behind, there's Watson. He's being challenged by Latinen, who's very impressive from Jesse Latinen, of course, still chasing his best finish in the championship. I think he finished 9th in race 1 at Suzuka, so he's looking to better that with P7 at the moment, possibly P6 if he can get the run on Watson, but very crucial for Watson to get as many points as he can Netrex in the team's championship, especially with Martin being knocked out of P2 by Moritz Kropp. And here comes Harry Smith again, 3rd time's the charm.
Yeah, well, the fact that he is all 4 wheels clear means that he has a chance to sprint clear now, and Craig Patterson in the background could ruin this ascent for Gazowski, his chance to counter attack. So yeah, here we go, last chance really in this sector. No, it seems there we go, Harry Smith's desire to make the move stick has finally paid off, and he's going to push as hard as he can. And we'll see now if Patterson can learn and take advantage of what Smith has achieved. At the moment, yeah, Jack Mayer so close as Frelick. That last lap still very evenly matched with Kropp. So yeah, these drivers are all so narrowly separated from one another. Mayer perhaps could use this opportunity to ease up on the tyres and maybe get an overcut opportunity if it comes to that. But here's Fuentes now.
On the inside, he clatters right into the side. Is that Menno? He's hitting almost collected there. Oliver Taras. And Menno's lost both wings.
Yeah, he's not going to be pleased. That is a very, very hefty penalty to take when you have been tapped around. Here comes the instant replay. It looks
bad
perfectly
exit from Menno, wasn't it?
Yeah, Menno was a bit slow in the final corner. That opened the door to Fuentes. And he's trying his best, but yeah, the understeer triggered by the curbs, and very close call there for Taras. Yeah.
Tyrrell had to thread between both of them there. That was excellent reactions there. Yeah, Menno just completely outbrakes himself for the final corner there. And then it's a bit of a margin one. The door's open, but it's a sort of closing gap here. Menno tries to leave a bit of space, but contact's made, and he's heading right towards the wall. And Oliver Tarras has to avoid it as the accident's happening, which is not the easiest thing in the world to do. But meanwhile, his teammate Moritz Kropp holding on very creditably onto second and still keeping Simon Frelick honest within 7 tenths then to go into lap 8. And this is interesting. So everyone apart from Russo, Zowski, Koenig, and Danny Van Den Eet has started on the soft tyres then. So are we getting close towards undercut territory? If you're, say, Klaffenboak at the back of this, because he's chewing through his tyres there the way he's going to power steer through every corner. So surely TCS are going to get aggressive with their strategy here and try and gain a few places by pitting early. But that might commit them to a 2-stop if they had to come in at this phase, whereas I think a lot of these guys are going to try and risk it on a 1-stop, go hard tyres to the end.
Yeah, the 1-stop around here, that is really important because of the length of the pit lane, the fact that it dips underground, that just costs you so much time. So you really don't want a 2-stop unless you're absolutely certain, or if you need to make repairs. That's the only really justification I can sense for a 2-stopper. Menno will get his repairs done and surely onto the harder tyres.
Speaking of repairs, yeah.
Yes, exactly. So he should hopefully have the tyre change once repairs are made.
Ooh.
Hopefully. Well, we'll have to leave the Mothforce crew to their job now, as Mirko Lucchini has at some point must have lost position to Frank Hamming. I know the last time I saw Hamming on screen, he was behind, so yeah, that's a gain for Frank.
Yeah, Hamming started 11th, didn't he? And he's really, or 10th actually, and he's really started gaining places now into the top 8. So Frank Hamming, the usual Frank Hamming charge is in full effect once more. Here he comes then.
Yes,
this is a replay. He just uses to go all the way around the outside of the machine.
Yeah, in equal machinery, that is super impressive to just surge around the outside before turn 9 and make the move stick. So yeah, Vincent Gutt may want to observe what the Alpha Delta driver ahead of him is doing in case he could pull off a similar trick. But there we go, Menno. He's sticking with the soft compound, so he will be doing a 2-stopper beyond any doubt. So he's a lap down, and any hopes of points are very, very slim now because of just how superbly designed this track is. It's so wide and so generous. Obviously, Menno will disagree because of turn 1, it's a very close barrier. But yeah, the odds of so many drivers retiring are certainly low because of the fact that you can just use the runoff and pick up where you left off. Yeah, it is a long, long night for race 1's for Menno Clant.
Yeah, 20 laps to go. Although 21 for Menno, of course, being a lap down potentially. Oh, there we go. Sliding into the braking zone is Philip Koenig, and he hits the side of Danny Van Den Eet there in the other Multiforce GP. So Danny having being mercifully saved there by that mistake from Koenig. But Koenig goes to the outside, opens to the air. He's going to try and do the Frank Hamming move then into turn 9. And he's got just enough overlap to sweep ahead, and Danny Van Den Eet has to back out of that one. However, reluctantly, you have to concede that 20th position.
Yeah, so these two drivers are on the harder tyre going head-to-head, and Koenig has to perhaps use...
Oh, he did well not to clatter into the side of Danny there.
Yeah, he didn't want to take too many chunks out of Danny. Wide for Wasserman. Wasserman will lose a lot of time there. Tylene certainly benefits from that, but watch out. Russo in the pits. Surely this is not planned.
And he was on the mediums as well.
He's on the yellow.
But maybe the mediums are not the tyres to be on.
Perhaps not, but if he's going to get these softs through another 2/3 of the race, that would be mega performance, but I really can't see that happening. It'd be too difficult without some sort of extreme conservation. So we'll see if Russo has a trick up his sleeve. Vincent Gutt going head to head with Lucchini a bit later on. Mayer! Oh my goodness, Mayer's made the moves, just about stick. Martin won't accept that, lying down. Will he go for the outside into turn 12? He will. So Mayer is going for the jugular now, but it did not work out in the first attempt. So Martin has superb defensive work there.
What happened here was Martin lost DRS because he's dropped off the back of Krop and Frelick by the tune of 1.6 seconds. So that was why Jack Mayer was attacking into turn 9. He couldn't quite hold on around the outside there, and it ended up with him back where he was. So Jack Mayer's seeing the leaders escape and starting to get desperate here.
Yeah, it is the end of that train for now.
You can see Krop
was also on the attack. So yeah, around the outside. It looked to have been done, but just that small took away Mayer's balance, and it meant Martin could attack again for the right-handers. And there you go, through turn 12. That was an amazing defense for Martin. But yeah, Marat's Krop is going to give Shimon a lot of thinking to do. Shimon losing 5 points could be very costly, so he'll defend them with all he's worth now. Mayer stays in the race, and he wants to have another crack at Martin. But here's Wasserman having that off not too long ago. Tylene.
Right into the back of the Santen of Fylan. We've seen Fylan flip in the warm-up here, as look at this, Craig Patterson now starting to attack Tuamela and Harry Smith ahead of them. So yeah, with Russo pitting from for a set of soft tyres, and he wasn't really making much progress, down in 14th on the mediums. That's released these guys to fight for the points then. And Patterson now looking for the opening round the outside, but so too is Tuamela. Tuamela up the inside, hits the side of Harry Smith. Harry Smith goes off into the runoff and loses 3 positions there. No, 4 positions.
Oh, and he's back with his old mate Gazowski. So these two are, they're going to get down to business once more. But yeah, it's really disappointing for Smith, having to go high and wide at turn 9. But there's Klaffenbach. He uses up too much of the turn 1 runoff, and he'll lose more time. So if he doesn't keep within the DRS range of Mayer, then it may be worth thinking about pitting that car in about 2 or 3 laps time, or else he'll lose that advantage to Mary Watson.
And Klaffenbach was actually fighting with Mayer because Mayer didn't get through on Carlos Martin. That backed him into Klaffenbach. So that was him. I think he was really pushing to try and challenge Jack Mayer there, and it didn't quite work out for him. But yeah, he's still very firmly in DRS range, and in fact Martin has started to close on Krop. He's dropped a couple of tenths behind where he was to Simon Frelick, because there's this huge train now behind, this looks like behind Wasserman then. So that's Tuamela, Patterson, Taras, Gazowski, and then a bit of a gap. Smith is there as well, and then there's a bit of a gap to Sville. But here comes Patterson up the inside of Tuamela.
Tuamela doing his earnest work here, trying to hang on. There you go, wide
Taras
for
going wide.
For Taras. 360 spin. Taras losing all that ground. He was 16th, now he's 18th. Smith again battling hard, and Tuamela wanting to retain that single point he's got. Maybe he could benefit from a reverse grid draw if he's really lucky.
Martin and Krop battling for second as well, and Martin just holding on there. Still not sure quite what happened there, as Gazowski's really being held up
and
now.
TOP demand their drivers in the pits, so Krop versus Mayer in pit lane. Hamming just coming through there, so watch out. Yeah, it's a safe release, but Hamming has to adjust a bit. So Krop maintains his advantage over Mayer, but it could be reduced a little bit. That is very, very close to call. It's all about how they get back onto the circuit and resume their stint. So yeah, they are now on the harder compounded tyres, and they'll want to go to the very end on those. Or maybe Krop is, we have to double check that if his tyres are now going to change on our screens or not. I believe he has changed the tyres to the harder compound.
Yeah, mediums I think on both of those. So 16 laps to go then. This is about undercutting Martin and potentially Frelick as well. It's interesting that TOP have left Frelick out another lap, and they let Mayer have first call on the pit stops, as this is what happened to Taras. He gets on the curb and loses it, and then hits the side actually of the built-in Volpino of course that was who was it again? The second built-in.
Yeah, that's Tuamela.
Tuamela, of course, because I think Tuamela's in the pits at the moment, which is why I've lost track there, because there we go, Gazowski, Taras, Fuentes and Tuamela all coming out now. And here's Jack Mayer then, making a move on that must be Craig Patterson. He's just dispatched there. So Patterson, having not pit yet, is absolutely at his mercy. And here comes Koenig around the outside of one of the HGPs.
Yeah, that's Hamming pitted, of course. Yes, Hamming has pitted.
We wouldn't have wanted Koenig in front of him at all. Koenig just uses DRS to get in front there, and that's a real blow for Frank Hamming. He was making good progress up to that point.
Yeah, Koenig still has decent tyre life, so yeah, the fact that Hamming has pitted, it will really frustrate him that he's battling a driver on a different strategy. Klaffenbach gets his service complete. Alex Lahou, so must be a double stack for TCS off. Yeah, smartly done there. Tylina's Philo pit also. Yeah, we'll see now what Klaffenbach can do with his harder compound tyre. He has beaten Harry Smith out of the gate, so yeah, that's really, really valuable to him, getting a bit of clear air. But Mayer will need to close down the Lunark as soon as possible, as Freilich just wants to go longer in the stint. Ed.
Martin as well, and we sort of expect this from Carlos, and Carlos is closing right to the back of Simon Freilich, so DRS is helping him here. But this is a really, really interesting scenario, because surely Moritz Kropp and Jack Mayer are going to undercut both of them now. But if they've got fresher tyres at the end, they might be able to breeze back with the help of DRS. And now Klaffenbach's pit, he's, what is he? He's 2 seconds now behind Jack Mayer, so that really shows you it's a fairly powerful undercut here.
Yeah,
and in he comes.
Yeah, this is really, really important now for Shimon. Whatever about the fate with Martin, he's got to get ahead of his teammate, and indeed Moritz Kropp now on camera. We'll see now how long it takes to get the number 74 back on circuit.
Yeah, Watson, Lucchini and Vincent Guttin as well.
Yeah, so Netrex will be using Watson's data to see how that can help Martin in his bid to take the win in race 1. So back on full speed. Well, yeah, he's past the speed limit line now. We can see Mayer going a little bit too far wide, and is through for Moritz Kropp. And maybe Mayer's missed his chance. Yes, that wide has cost him, but DRS, of course, will give the two championship contenders their first head-to-head battle of the night. Don't send it, says the rear wing, of course.
It says that on both their rear wings, yes. So lucky Simon Freilich can't see the back of Jack Mayer's then, doesn't have to obey that instruction. But here comes Jack Mayer, well under DRS, despite going wide at turn 1. He's going to have one shot here, up the inside into 5 and 6. And these are the two title contenders, but of course Simon Freilich will get his own helping of DRS then on the run out of this chicane towards turn 9. So this is where Simon really has to be on it, has to make the best of his fresher tyres then. He's got 2 or 3 laps fresher tyres, hasn't he? So this is where Jack Mayer may be vulnerable. Here we go.
Yeah, respect between the teammates. Freilich picks the inside line that was left open to him. He's back through. But yeah, right now it is push for both drivers, whereas Freilich could benefit close to the end. And look at the separation, it's almost nothing. But yeah, Mayer may have to lay back a little bit. So here comes Carlos Martin for the pits. Moritz Kropp has the chance to be the overall leader at the beginning of the lap, of course. So here we go. The start of lap 16 for him. Can he become the race leader? It looks a formality to me, Ed. That's Martin only getting off speed limit now.
Yeah, Martin's going to come out side by side with Klaffenbach, I think, at this rate. But that was crucial from TOP. I wondered if there was even a team order from Jack Mayer not to fight Simon, because if they fought, then Moritz Kropp is going to steal the win under both of their noses, which is not really what either of them want. Certainly what Moritz Kropp wants, a second win in a row in 2 races for Lunark after winning race 2 at Suzuka last time out. So that's Simon Freilich then. What is the gap to Moritz Kropp? It is 1.5 seconds then after clearing Jack Mayer, who's now half a second behind. And of course Moritz Kropp has been on those tyres 3 laps. Simon Freilich's only been on them 1 lap then. So towards the end of this stint and the end of the race, you're really going to see Moritz Kropp start to struggle and Simon Freilich really start to challenge him. And in fact, Jack Mayer has got much older tyres, 4-lap older tyres than Carlos Martin behind. So Martin, who has jumped Klaffenbach, is going to be a threat for the podium here.
Right you are. So this race far from over, and lap 17 is still a few seconds away. So now that these top 5 drivers are separated, it's down to their individual skill before the fact that they can go wheel to wheel on DRS. But at the moment, Crop is clear of that situation. 1.5 seconds. Having started third on the grid, he's now leading, putting Freilich down 1. Mayer, of course, gaining 2 places. It is Martin who's the driver who has the hardest work to do with his youngest tyres. So yeah, there's certainly nothing to take for granted right now. But oh, Crop, that's a little bit too much on the AstroTurf. Mayer also going too deep, so he's using that turn 1 runoff very liberally. And this could be the opening for Freilich, just perhaps missing the DRS activation line. It's going to be really close, so let's observe what Freilich can do. He's definitely within the strike zone, and DRS open, so he did find that 0.5 second in that one and only sector. So here we go. Freilich is
Martin is also in DRS of Mayer as well, so
yes,
those 2 mistakes costing them. But on the proofs that Freilich took 0.5 second out of Moritz Krop's lead, so that's why he's under pressure here in that Lunar.
Yeah, and Freilich will be the werewolf to that Lunark. He will not make any qualms about this. He needs to take as many points out of his teammate as possible, and 25 for the win is certainly the most he can realistically do, unless he gets fastest lap as well. We're changing quickly there to Russo battle with Tylene. Tylene, though, will not be out of it just yet. He has the counter attack on DRS going the high line. Will it be a case? Yeah, Russo cannot defend that. It'd be too difficult. But on his compounded tyres, it would be impossible for him to fight back. But certainly now Mayer under intense pressure. This is what makes a champion or not. He's got to hang on in there, or else if he realizes Martin is too good, then he has to yield and try and counter-attack him later on in the stint. Those are the only 2 choices I see. But Martin wiggles, turn 2 into 3. That was risky, but he held on.
Yeah, you can tell he's really struggling in the wake of Mayer. That's something you run really, really close through these fast corners, and this is allowing Klaffenberg to just sneak his way in. Klaffenberg, of course, is on 4 lap-old tyres. Martin on 2 lap-old tyres. Mayer on 5 lap-old tyres. So Klaffenberg has a small advantage on Mayer, but not on Martin, of course. And Martin looking the best placed here, and it's really a matter of when I think Martin makes this move here, and it could be even here. He's got such a good run here, and he's still got another 11 laps, even if he can't make it through on this lap.
Well, we'll see if Martin is going to get it. Mayer just does not have the speed, but he does have the chance to perhaps do what he did a bit earlier in the race, going neck and neck with Martin out of 9, but no snap at the rear, no taps on each other's car. So Martin makes the move squeaky clean, and now it's a chance to make a breakaway. So Mayer does have to yield. That would have been a chaotic moment there if there was contact. And Klaffenbach wanting his name to be remembered after this evening. He has a fabulous opportunity to do it in P5 at the moment, and chasing down the championship leader.
Well, Simon Freilich would certainly thank him if he was able to get past Jack Mayer in this race 1 here. 10 laps to go then, so it's quite a challenge, but Klaffenbach has certainly shown a lot of pace, a lot of enthusiasm and exuberance today with his driving, so let's see if he can make the best of it. TCS Off Racing always seem to hire these, they got low money and then a bunch of really quick, experienced or inexperienced drivers, but they're able to really surprise us, like Alex Lahou and Klaffenberg today. So Julian now has the world champion, the FS2 champion and the championship leader in his sights. But Moritz Krop, meanwhile, only 6 tenths ahead of Simon Freilich. And now, I wonder now, Martin's release 4 seconds down with 10 laps to go. If he's got the delta that we know he has, he could be really quick in the final few laps, because he can really push those tyres. It's just a case of, did he get held up for too long behind Jack Mayer to Carlos Martin? Because that could well have ended his chance for the win. Maybe he left it out a lap too late, in my opinion, Carlos Martin.
Certainly, yeah, that is, yeah, I would agree with that, Ed.
Traffic.
Yeah, traffic coming up here, the EP lap. I believe that would be Juanma Fuentes. He needs to be lapped. Yeah, Mark's crop. For his point of view, he'll want to meet Fuentes before turn 5 would be the ideal moment. No, maybe it's going to be awkward now. He's wide. And now this the crisscross turns 2 through 4 very, very quick. So this is where he'll want the blue flags to help him out. Will Fuentes yield? No, he takes his ordinary racing line. Understeering goes Crop, and now a little bit of a double boost here because Crop will get DRS. Freilich will get an extra bit of slipstream as well. So here we go. Freilich will position his car smartly for turn 6 and go for the attack out of 7, I'm sure. There goes Fuentes.
Oh, look at this. Freilich gets really wide, gets a great run out of turn 6 then. And now they go on the wrong line, the long run into turn 9, sorry. And Freilich is going to have to go to the outside here as Moritz Krop desperately tries to hold on to the lead with 9 laps to go.
It's a case of he's gone too high. Freilich down the inside, he catches the moment, but Krop has still got the inside. 3 right-handers in a row coming up. What about this? On the outside they'll go. Now we turn left. Freilich almost certainly in the lead. He's just got to hang on for a few more corners. And he's got it. Yes, Krop loose. And Freilich is clear again. And now this is his moment. He's got the younger tyres and he's got to push them as hard as he can in order to take the race 1 victory.
Crucial move for someone Freilich because Martin was catching both of them up until that moment. So here we go. He just knows that the Lunark has gone too wide and he goes up the inside. He is the werewolf, like you say, the Lunark, the moon car, I guess, makes it appropriate. And then he's on the outside here, but he knows that's going to be the inside for 12, 13 and 14. So he just lets Moritz Krop do his own thing on the outside there, and then he's able to hold on. And as you say, Moritz Krop getting that little wiggle through 13. That was really what's made him drop out of DRS, almost out of DRS zone already. And now Krop has really got to worry about Martin, who's 3 seconds behind up the road. It was 4 seconds not too long ago. But Martin has been chipping away at that gap and building a comfortable buffer to Meyer, who is holding off the attentions of Klaffenberg.
Oh, goodness gracious. That's Freilich loose. And Krop has the chance to repeat what we just saw on the last lap. Around the outside he'll go on the DRS boost, but he's already completely clear. Moritz Krop leads again. This is absolutely tense with so much on the line for these TOP drivers, and Krop does manage to make Freilich panic a bit, so you can see the snap out of 7. Oh, so close to the barriers as well.
He well to save it, but he just got on the power of that a little bit too early. That wasn't being on the curb. It was just a mistake all on his own from Simon Freilich, and probably at one of the worst possible moments, because now it brings Carlos Martin right back into play with now just 7 laps left to go.
Yeah, and these distractions just aid Martin even more. The lap times, you can certainly see Freilich losing a second there, 135.5, Martin 134.5, and Krop at 134.4.
Krop got the DRS, of course, off of Freilich as well on that lap.
Yes, of course.
So now he's not going to have the same luxury.
Yeah, it just basically puts us back a couple of laps where we saw Freilich chipping away at that deficit. And he will be again just a little bit too far back, but he has the chance to have a better exit out of the 7 right-hander in the chicane. So he's braked very, very late, last of the late breakers, and he's paid the price. Further encouragement coming now for Carlos Martin. He could be within a lap of getting that DRS. So close now. That was a huge, huge moment in the race for Freilich. Thankfully, no contact affected either driver there, but so much pressure on the shoulders of Freilich.
And Freilich lost at least 2 attempts there with that mistake, possibly a little bit more. He certainly lost 2 attempts to Krop and an attempt to Martin in Sector 2 there. But these are kind of knife-edge mistakes that not only decide races but championships as well. And Simon Freilich, although he's ahead of Meyer at the moment, he really cannot afford to let this win slip away from him.
No, realistically, he needs to gain every point available. 20 versus 13, I believe that would be. It'd be 7. It's okay, really not enough. So yeah, that would be certainly a little bit of relief to Jack Mayer. He hasn't lost a ton of points, whereas a 25 versus a 13, that does really strike down that 47-point deficit. Juanma Fuentes has been penalised. Could that be due to speeding in pit lane?
Possibly. Let me see when the last one may have pitted. It might have been for ignoring blue flags because he has been lapped. He's been out 7 laps, so I definitely think either that's a very delayed speeding penalty, or he's been cutting the track, or he's just been not letting the cars on the lead lap through. I think he's about near the back of the field, having been lapped by almost everyone apart from those that are out of the points. Here we go. Frelick is mounting up for another attack. Martin, his charge is halted a little bit. He's made a few mistakes of his own. His lap times have been similar to Frelick, then stuck behind Moritz Krop. So Krop, I think, is actually doing the best out of our 3 contenders for victory here. But Simon Frelick is now all over the back of him, applying maximum pressure once more. If Frelick can just win this by the skin of his teeth, it might just keep his title hopes alive. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. Right, but without doubt, Frelick may just have to put 2 or 3 laps to one side, get his tire cycle to peak, and then go for it at the end. He's using all the runoff he can, going beyond those curbs. But yeah, Martin versus Mayer also brewing up behind these drivers. So yeah, Frelick, if he feels he's got to go for it at the very end, put the ultimate heat on Krop, rather than just going lap after lap, making these counter attacks. Something that will wear down Frelick's stamina. Maybe he just has to plan it and go for one decisive move to end it all and make sure he's on the top step for the first race. So let's see what he plots here now, because incredibly long back straight towards turn 6. You've got to stay fully alert to anything that goes on there. It's just, it'll take you a good while to finish the straight. And now they're going all over again through another DRS straight. A bit of a curve on it, of course, but yeah, Krop so far so good. He's still got the slight measure here.
Yeah, I wonder if Frelick has maybe given his tyres a bit of punishment as well through his mistakes, and that is what's helping Moritz Krop. So the tyre delta that Frelick had on Moritz Krop, it's sort of gone now. He did have 2 laps better tyres, but it's sort of evened out now at this point in the race, hasn't it? With the mistakes, the punishment that Frelick's put them through. And now it's become so crucial for both of these guys not to make any mistake, because that's going to decide the win. And Moritz Krop, credit to him, under huge pressure, he's looking good to take Lunark's 2nd win of the season. But Frelick is not going to give up right to the line, as you say, Eoin. And meanwhile, I think Carlos Martin is actually helping Jack Mayer here, if anything, because he's giving him just a little bit of a tow, if not DRS as well, and that's helping him keep Klaffenberg at bay.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Yeah, Klaffenbach has fallen by the wayside a little bit, but certainly no shame in that on his first competitive start here in FS1, getting the opportunity at Loic Munier's absence. So yeah, top 5, and certainly be a contender for reverse grid, a strong start on the reverse grid, but that is not a concern of these drivers at the moment. They still got the final 5 laps to complete, and still Frelick is getting close and close and close. But it's still not enough just yet. It may have to be the last moment at turn 9 before there's any movement. It's just going to follow the ordinary racing line for the moment. So yeah, Krop has that covered. There's still so little to decide between these 2 drivers.
Yeah, and looking a bit further back as well, Latinen still doing very, very well to hold on to that 7th place. Only 1.6 seconds behind Omari Watson as well. We know how good Omari is. A race winner, of course, earlier this season. So Latinen doing himself great credit there. He's been on those tyres 11 laps. Watson's been on them 10. So Watson, in theory, has got a bit of an advantage there in that battle for 6th place.
Yeah, it'll be an amazing result for NetRex. I know they have the wins and the other podiums to think about. Krop does have a big wiggle, and Frelick will not be able to take that first opportunity, but the second opportunity in the mind games will certainly play on the mind of Krop. And no doubt about it, Frelick has got to exploit that and go for the attack. He's already so close. DRS is just going to make it even easier for him.
Yeah, and Martin will have seen this as well. He knows if these two fight each other, he's got a small chance of victory. But here he goes weaving to try and break the toe is Moritz Kropp. They go side by side into the braking zone in turn 5 and 6. And Moritz Kropp is going to have Simon Frelick go up the inside of him then. And now Moritz Kropp is going to hope he gets the DRS, but he doesn't get the great run out of turn 6 there. Has to really under-rotate it there to make sure that he doesn't hit the side of the TOP. And now here we go. It's do or die into turn 9.
Oh, he's stuck it on the inside. He's braved it, but
no!
Just the banking does assist Frelick his turn in, and Kropp is just taking these tires to the absolute limit. He's got to be careful now. Martin will get the heave-ho. This is his opportunity to strike. His assistant in his ear, I'm sure, will have said, just stay patient. This race will come to you. And now it is Martin's opportunity. Mayer not in position here. He may just realise I need to back off and just hope something occurs in front of me. That'll be certainly my thoughts on Mayer's race. As Klaffenbach also in contention.
Mayer's in the same boat as we see. That looks like Fuentes coming in to retire into the garage in the background. Yeah. But Mayer and Kropp are in the same scenario because they pit on the same lap. So all these guys around them have got fresher tyres to a greater or lesser degree, including Klaffenbach, who's now only 8 tenths behind Jack Mayer. So Mayer's got his own problems. Carlos Martin, this is sort of the big opportunity here. He needs to clear Kropp really quickly. He might even catch Simon Frelick if he can do that. But Moritz Kropp has done very well, but that one mistake has ruined his chances of victory and allowed Simon Frelick through decisively. Although arguably Simon Frelick should have got pulled away long ago if he hadn't made that mistake. But, you know, these are the sorts of things that can happen when you're fighting for the championship and the pressure is on. And Carlos Martin really wants that second place if it's up for grabs here.
Oh, no doubt about it. He's been just hanging on back and trying to settle those tires down. Now he can attack as much as he realistically can now. So, yeah, this is where patience pays off. Yeah, at the moment, yeah, in the final sector, it's just very, very difficult to get alongside an opponent. So, yeah, let's see if Kropp, yeah, he will follow the apex ideally there. And now will be the case of getting back onto the start-finish straight for the 28th lap, the penultimate lap coming up now. And Martin may just have peaked at the right time. Here we go. Two laps remain, and Martin half a second off Moritz Kropp, and DRS may have fallen away. There we go, another wide. It's Frelick clear now. It's going to be Martin's best opportunity to get second place. Being started on the front row, of course. This is his chance to return to form and put Kropp back into P3.
Yeah, and meanwhile, Jack Mayer has still got Klaffenbach about 6 tenths behind him, I think. So Klaffenbach might have a little chance on the final lap, but he isn't quite close enough at the moment. But Carlos Martin certainly is. Here he goes, up the inside for second place into turn 5. And Moritz Kropp is going to be absolutely at his mercy round the outside, is he? Here we go. Around the outside goes Carlos Martin, and he's going to have to wait for the second DRS zone, then Kropp being defensive.
Yeah, super defense here from Kropp. But it may just be a little bit too little too late because of the banking at turn 9 nowadays.
Oh, Klaffenbach having to go as well.
Oh, contact. Just a small bit of contact on Klaffenbach, fourth. Mayer loses more points. 2 more points gone, as he's now in 5th place for 11 points as opposed to 13. So Julian Klaffenbach has really put a real twist in this championship tale.
Yeah, very much the fly in the ointment. But look at this, Martin, as they go onto the final lap, has not given up at all in challenging for second place. And Moritz Kropp here is going to have to dig very, very deep indeed if he wants to hold on to P2 here.
Yeah, this will be one of the finest defensive jobs of the entire season if he manages to hang on to P2 on the older set of tyres. Martin waited the longest out of anyone to make a tire change in this lead battle, so now he's got to make it count. This is second to last prime opportunity to get it done, and wide and wobbly goes Klaffenbach. So Mayer gets his 13 points back, but he will not give up necessarily. And here we go, the battle continues. An amazing bit of camera work here. The ideal situation. Wheel to wheel. No one wants to concede this apex, but Martin has got it. Through goes the Netrex driver, and Krop has his one final opportunity coming. And Klaffenbach has just completely lost composure here, so he's got to chill out now. Unfortunately, the tires will have given up. And Krop around the outside again.
Oh, but look at Martin. He hasn't given up either. He's trying to go around the outside of the exit. Surely going to get pushed off track. No, he holds his line, and it's going to be a drag race then. Who can reach turn 12 first here? And it's going to be Martin that gets the inside that cuts off. Or it's Krop there. Fantastic racing between the pair of them.
Just phenomenal stuff, but we have to give the plaudits now to our race 1 winner, Szymon Frelick. He's done what he needed to do, and he is successful here in the first race of the night. Martin, having to wait so long, finally got the move done into turn 12, I should say, getting the second place secured. Maurits Krop will be gutted with that. Such a strong run, and it only gets him a third place. Mayer will have to settle for those 13 points, losing out on 12 to his teammate and rival. And then how about Julian Klaffenbach, the teenager, on his first go behind the wheel of an FS1 car. P5 for him, and there we have Watson and Latinen as well, 6th and 7th.
Look at Latinen, only just a few temps ahead of Licini, who had a late charge there as well. So Yassi Latinen getting his best finish and just about holding on from the best of the Alpha Deltas there, as Russo takes the final point in the sister car.
Yeah, Alpha Delta, that'll certainly be a solid job for them. They'll be competing with the one and only Build Sim driver for tonight, so yeah, that's a critical result for their point of view. But let's check out the replay and how Klaffenbach almost put in a giant killing in his very first race. So he's around the outside of 9, but again, just like in qualifying, his exit grip just letting him down a bit. So yeah, that was close, but not quite successful. So this is turn 5, the long hairpin, and again the rear steps out. He catches it very neatly though. A good bit of reaction driving, but Mayer was certainly chuffed to see that. But now the wheel to wheel, they just would not end until finally Martin got the inside for 7. And then of course the outside, watch the mirrors of Martin, you're going to see the Lunark fill up. There you go, the right side mirror filling up with the purple, gold and white, and there you go, the swap was completed there, but Martin adjusted, taking the
and they nearly locked wheels as well. I didn't realize that as well, so it was smart by Krop to wait behind. He knew he'd lost that turn 5 and 6 battle, but wait for the DRS. And then Martin knew if he just braved it around the outside, he might be able to get the inside then into 11, 12 and 13. And yeah, he even got a little bit of a slide on as well. That was a fantastic finish in that battle for P2. But yeah, Szymon Frelick, the upshot of this, he's gained 12 points then on Jack Mayer. So the gap now, 35 points then. So bring on race 2.
Yeah, so Mayer will need a massive turnaround to get the title secured tonight. But yeah, we're reverse grid coming up. We'll take a summary of our results. With Szymon Frelick victorious there, it'll feel like a long hour or so for him. With Carlos Martin getting the second place back. Maurits Krop stays third, but he nearly won it, so he'll be very disappointed in that regard. Jack Mayer getting very feisty with Klaffenbach in that best the rest battle, but of course experience did pay off on this first occasion. So Mayer 4th, Klaffenbach 5th, Watson 6th, Latinen 7th, Licini, Gutt and Hamming complete the top 10. And the remaining points, an anonymous round actually here for Alex Lahou, but he could possibly come back in the second race. So 11th place, barely mentioned him at all. Lucas Tylene had some great battles up and down the field. He gets 12th. Craig Patterson, 13th, ahead of David Wasserman. And as we mentioned there, Ed, 15th for Federico Russo. Rowan GP, all their bombastic driving to not see them score any points. They have Harry Smith 16th and Christopher Svillo 17th. Philip Koenig, Danny van der Neet and Oliver Taras complete our top 20. Matthias Gozowski, 21st, the last classified car, as we saw Fuentes withdraw from the race. He was too far back. Noah Tuamela retired. Similarly, Menno Clont had a big shunt in his battle, and he could not really recover from that. And then the bizarre incident on lap 1 saw Joe Gillette go from 5th gear to 1st, and that destroyed his engine. So, Ed, before we take a quick break to regather our thoughts, how do you feel that first race went?
Certainly interesting for the championship, but all those top 5 positions looked very much in doubt until the end. But you have to say, Simon Frelick snatched victory from the jaws of defeat there. And unfortunately, Moritz Krupp just couldn't quite keep the tyres alive, and that was really what cost him in the end, pitting slightly too early. Carlos Martin was really saved a bit by Frelick and Moritz Krupp battling each other, and that was what enabled him to just snatch second at the end there, as well as some really clever driving. Jack Mayer could have been a lot worse if he was behind Klaffenbauch. But in the end, Julian just got to let the rear hang out and do some great car control. Maybe he missed his calling as a rallycross driver, Julian. But Jack Mayer, I think he'll be not too upset with 4th, considering how early he pit there. He was at a disadvantage in that final stint ever since Frelick got out ahead, or he just briefly got ahead and then was repassed, wasn't he? So great to see a battle between all of our 2 championship contenders, and I think race 2, it's going to be a battle of survival already for both of them.
That's it, precisely. Yeah, there's still so much more to be decided, but please stay tuned. We will be taking a quick break, but we will be back very soon. So, yeah, can't wait to see you again after the break. So, take care. See you in a moment. The second warm-up session has just ended, so welcome back, everybody. The preparations for race 2 at the Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi are getting well underway now, so we're almost ready to go. We do have the reverse grid number drawn, and it's number 9 for Vincent Gut. So he will have a chance to get Spark back on top of the podium. But yeah, the fact is it'll be a little bit of an advantage for Jack Mayer. On track, he will benefit from that draw just a little bit. But yeah, pressure is on Ed, I'm sure. After losing out in the first race, he's got a lot to prove in race 2. Yeah, it's just disappeared for a sec. So yeah, the drivers are getting summoned onto the grid at this point. So we're not too far away from our formation. Oh no, he's lost connection there. So I'll give him a chance to connect. So Ed, can you hear us again?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. It's just when I speak, it's taking a while to actually come in sometimes. But I might have to just not watch the stream so that it doesn't overload my absolutely rubbish computer. Anyway, right. It's probably because I'm trying to edit so many videos in between doing these streams. Anyway, yeah, race 2. Looking forward to it. Vincent on pole. And I'm sure the likes of NetRex will be looking to take advantage. I think they're level with them pretty much in the second place in the team.
Yeah, unfortunately, Ed didn't get to finish his point. So yeah, our drivers are on the grid. So do you want to test your mic out again there?
Well, I can try.
Yeah.
This is me not watching the stream, so you might have to do the pictures and I'll just imagine what's happening from the timing screen then.
Alright, well, we'll do our best in that situation. So formation.
The alternative is me throwing the laptop out the window. So.
Well, hopefully we'll at least keep the audio working on it. That'll be some grace. But here we go. Vincent Gut on reverse grid pole. Mirko Lucchini P2 for Alpha Delta. Latinen P3. And then I believe it's Mary Watson 4th. And then our big 5 drivers, Klaffenbach ahead of Mayer, Maritz Kropp and Martin. Shimon Frelich has to start from where Vincent Gut previously finished, of course. He's 9th. Alex Lahou makes a jump to P10 because Frank Hamming is not able to compete. He has had to withdraw from the race, so he loses out on the spot. Tylene and Patterson 11th and 12th. Wasserman, Russo, and then Smith and Spillo, the Rowan GP teammates, 15th and 16th. Philip Koenig, Danny van der Neet, Oliver Taras, and Matthews Kozowski have 17th through 20th. And our remaining 3 drivers still in competition: Juanma Fuentes, Menno Klont, and Joe Gillette. Yeah, it's a shame we have lost out on more drivers, but yeah, it's a chance for some of those other guys who didn't get to complete race 1 to have another go and charge all over again in this second race with those 20 points for a win at stake. And yeah, Vincent Gut, always a pleasure to have him around for a chat. If you can get this crucial opening lap ran in his favour, then we may be hearing a very delighted Vincent once again. But yeah, so much on the line. It still really is about the title fight. Jack Mayer, P6, and Shimon Frelich, who got the first blood to win in race 1. He's down in 9th. But yeah, it is all on the line now. Still advantage to Mayer. He has a solid enough lead, but it can all change with this variable to deal with. And there we go, Paul Sitter finding his grid slot right on time.
Keep your eyes on Yassi Latinen, because after finishing 7 in race 1, he's got a lot to prove here. And of course, Klaffenbach in P5, exactly where he finished in race 1. Amari Watson too, he could be quick, so a lot of people that might have some trouble passing, and that might back him into the likes of Kropp, Martin and Frelich.
Here we go, lights are on, and a very quick launch. There we go. It's looking strong for Vincent. But how about Lucchini? Can he survive the onslaught from behind? Latinen versus Watson side by side. Long way around there for Klaffenbach. And there you go. It's a good start. Lucchini defends his position. But now, there we go. The Frisland of Latinen has Maritz Krop behind. Martin looking to have another repeat of his previous battle, and a long way around for Freilich. He may be exposed there to Lahoo. And he is, as a matter of fact.
Yeah, there we go. There was almost there going 4 wide there, and Simon Freilich found himself stuck on the outside, but they're still slipstreaming each other. Here comes Watson side by side with Jack Mayer into turn 5, and Jack Mayer is through onto the podium then. So Jack Mayer is having a very, very aggressive opening lap to this race, as Latin now under attack from Klaffenbach. As Simon Freilich goes off track again, he's down into 11th then behind Lucas Violin.
My goodness, so yeah, the fact that Freilich started on pole, got the race 1 win, it's a whole different kettle of fish now, and he's got these aggressive and determined drivers ahead of him looking for an honest day's pay, and Lahoo goes around. Oh, it can never be 100% smooth running for him, I'm afraid. Down the order goes Lahoo, and wide for Freilich, and he's going to get sanctioned for that. He will not be tolerated taking that kind of a cut. Yeah, Tylene
locked wheels with him, and he had to go track to avoid being spun around himself. So I actually might let Simon Freilich get away with that one, but yeah, not ideal at all in the opening lap of this race. Mayer on the podium, like just struggling to stay in the top 10 there. There we also see Moritz Krop getting past Klaffenbach and now challenging Omari Watson himself.
Yeah, so wet and wild running here already here in the second race at Yas Marina. And there we go, Martin, wary of those curves, and Klaffenbach, youthful exuberance, taking on the other Netrex. He's gotten his way through and back into the P5 he occupied on our opening race, the feature. But Watson, though, will have a chance to counter-attack. Is there a straight opening on the inside? It does appear the Briton can go on that inside, but no, he backs out of it. Maybe he could try again. Yeah, he's going to try a little bit of an intimidation. But Martin has no qualms. He's past Latinen, and Freilich has to do the same. Oh, it's going to be so close here. Latinen defending with vigor here. And now they're both going to go around the outside.
Yeah, there we go.
Goodness.
Freilich now side by side with the Frizzlin, and Latinen is hung out to dry then. They're absolutely crucial that Freilich followed Martin through immediately. Now he's into the top 8, and he's got the 2 Netrexes to contend with. Watson, I think, does not have the pace of his teammate here.
Apparently not, to be honest. Yeah, it is really disappointing if he does lose out on that pace, but here we go with DRS now active. Vincent Gutt, no sweat on him so far, but it will certainly be a case of don't catch your chickens too soon. Lucchini will have DRS, and wide again, Klaffenbach. That could give Watson the chance to strike very soon. Yeah, there's more opportunities where that came from, so these tyres need to last.
Yeah, they're all on the mediums, aren't they?
It's about 14-15 laps if you're going long, or maybe 10. You get the softs on to the end. Yeah, a lot of drivers just going for the harder compound to begin with.
The 2 Rowan GPs, 22nd, 23rd. Harry Smith challenging Svillo, which is a repeat of race 1. The Rowan GPs just fighting like crazy, just outside the points, unfortunately, for both of them, as we see some action going on in the mid-pack. Vandini overtaking Gazowski. The replay at the start then, Eoin. So this is what happened to Freilich, starting just behind Carlos Martin in 9th. Sees the drama unfolding. Moritz Krop and Martin going side by side for turn 1, and then Klaffenbach going wide in front of them, and Freilich sees a free wide in front of him, and he finds himself on the outside here, doesn't he?
Yes, he took the very long way around, but maybe just went a little bit too deep even for that approach. And Alex Lahoo, you can just see him there, he's going to take that inside line with great thanks, and there we go, the TCS off driver takes the position for the moment. Now we'll join Mr. Lahoo on board to figure out what happened to him at the exit of turn 9. So there we go. Oh, it was contact from Martin that sent him a bit too high for his liking, and then on the curbs, the big snap of understeer and then oversteer. So
yeah, the problem was problem was Alex got on the middle of the curb there. He got the plank on the middle of the curb, and from then on he was basically a passenger. So it's really unlucky. He wanted to go a little bit wider so he goes around the curb or just keep inside of it. So it didn't work out for him in either respect. And now Genie in second has got Jack Mayer all over the back of him, and Mayer has been dragging Moritz Kropp with them too. So it's a four-way fight for victory. Vincent Gutt, incredibly, in that Spark, holding on to first place at the moment, which puts pressure on Netrex down in 6th and 7th to try and make their way through the order. Big gap in front of Klaffenbach now.
Yeah, for sure. So Mayer, obviously he's got a very competitive driver from race one's example right behind with Lucchini just in front. Yeah, this is a prime opportunity for him to take a really healthy bag of points home with him, heading to the airport on the way to Brazil, of course, for 2 weeks. But here we go, Gillette. Now that he's actually got a proper run of things, he's figured out the problem with his wheel that caused him to shift down 4 gears in one movement. Oh, and he's lagging out a bit, so hopefully that's, oh no, it might be the end of his race. No, there we go, and he's back. Oh, there we go. And a little bit of a curse
issue on our end, but it looks like we do have a retirement though. Looks like Harry Smith is out, sadly, in the Rowan GPs, which is a big shame. So that's happened time. These 2 incidents, that lag, Smith retiring, might not be related, I would wait, which is a big shame for Smith. But not Jack Mayer is very, very fired up to take a victory here, and with Frelick still stuck behind Martin, got excellent chance to win the jam and at least extend that advantage back to the 47 odd points that it was going into race 1.
Yeah, so this will undo some of the damage to Mayer's lead if he can certainly get onto a better spot in the race. Lucchini will make his choice. He'll follow the racing line as normal because, of course, Vincent Gutt is there to help him out. So yeah, an 8th place from race 1 and a 2nd place in race 2. That will be a fine showing for Alpha Delta. Mayer, for the moment, he's got the advantage he needs over Kropp. Otherwise, yeah, there will be a lot of pressure ongoing for Mayer. So here's Harry Smith's final action in the race. He's taking sector 3 as normal, but then just underneath the hotel, that's an instant DNF, losing his front right tyre.
It's unusual to see a crash there, and also the front right coming off entirely. So he lost it, tried to correct it, and then he was just a passenger, wasn't he?
Yeah, precisely. That was unfortunately how he ended up retired. But yeah, he'll have to dust himself down and hopefully try again next time if Rowan.
You see Moritz Kropp landing there as well. Landing a little bit back into the clutches of Klaffenbach now, so that's even more comfortable for Jack Mayer because Kropp is just outside of the DRS now. He was setting laps 10th faster. He set the fastest lap of the race not too long ago, 1:34.6 actually, 2 tenths quicker than Jack Mayer. And now he's going to have to really fight to get that ground back. He saw him braking really late there into turn 5, and now Klaffenbach senses blood in the water here as he gets into the DRS zone.
For sure. So what will Julian decide? He's thinking about it. He was definitely thinking about it. But no,
Craig Patterson in trouble.
No trouble for Patterson.
Back of the field.
Yeah, that's taking him down to the back of the pack. Rear wing gone. That was turn 6 to 7, I believe. Just got a glimpse of it. So yeah, that's 3rd retirement in this race. So let's check out the replay.
Oh
my goodness.
That LeHou spinning again.
LeHou, yeah. How did he manage that?
That's very unusual. It's almost like he opened the... and Joe Gillette spins across. And so Koenig gets collected and Patterson as well.
Yeah, a real domino effect. So let's watch again what Alex LeHou was up to spin on the... yeah, he's loose in the wake behind Menno Clon.
Menno
So
he was trying to fight,
Yeah. Then there's
Joe goes wide trying to fight Menno, and then just causes a big pile up behind him. Oh dear.
Yeah, so Lahu will have to pit for repairs. Koenig similarly, but yeah, Patterson's out, and yeah, that's really disappointing for
Mayer
you to let that happen. Oh, here's Mayer. Yes, go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, he's got the inside, forces Lucchini almost off track there.
Oh, and Crop's really loose as well.
And through goes Julian into third place. Crop is all over the back of Lucchini now too, and trying to get up the inside into turn 9. The Netrex is upon them as well, and Moritz Crop is going to have to take a very, very tight line to try and overcome that Alpha Delta, but Lucchini has just collected himself up in the nick of time, and Moritz Crop all inside here into 11, 12, 13. No, he's not. Crop, far from taking advantage, now finds himself at a disadvantage because those two Netrexes of Watson and Martin are going to work together to pick them off one by one here shortly.
Yes, that would be a solid plan for the Netrex drivers to work together and gain further places, particularly with their bid for second place in the team championship on the line. But Jack Mayer, you can see Vincent Gutt, he's just 6/10 behind. This is his chance to really go for it now. And Klaffenbach is a little bit too far away. You will get DRS though. But now Jack Mayer, to prove why he is the championship leader, he'll want to win this race. He'll want to take away any of Freilic's momentum. Turn 6 is too soon. But look in the background, Moritz Crop having a peek at Lucchini's inside, but he's got to be wary of Watson there in 6th place. So yeah, if he tries to go for one, he could easily lose all that progress. But here's Jack Mayer. This is his moment. Going, but no, he won't go for it until he's absolutely sure, Ed.
Yeah, Vincent got nailing his exits here. I'm very impressed he's been able to hold on the lead for half the race now, but he's still got the other half to go, and Jack Mayer now is being closed himself. Klaffenbach, who's been setting absolutely brilliant pace himself, and now is well within the DRS too, and he's dragging Lucchini, Crop, Watson, Martin, and Freilich with him. So we've got essentially an 8-way fight for the lead, but it's those at the front that are in prime position at the moment. I think the top 3 are going to contest this. If Jack Mayer stumbles passing Vincent Gutt, then Klaffenbach could take a surprise win here.
Yeah, what a fantastic opening bow Julian Klaffenbach would have taken to the FS1 World, coming up so late in the season and making a humongous impact. But here is take 2. Jack Mayer up 4 places on the reverse grid rules, having that fight back from 6th place. Now he has a chance to go for the race lead. Vincent Gutt, having benefited from that draw, he's never given up the lead at all, and perhaps these drivers won't be pitting whatsoever. Another look for Crop. Oh, he's misjudged it. That's taken
slid into him there, and the Netrexes have swapped positions. Martin ahead of Watson then, and Freilich looking to take advantage of this as well.
Yeah, it's going to be 3 wide because Crop won't give this up. He's already down some positions.
4 wide.
Oh my word. Oh, that was scary. Freilich.
Crop on the outside of Martin. Oh, he tried that in race 1, didn't he? And Martin outfoxed him there, and he's done it again. Martin up to 5th then, and Freilich up to 7th.
Yeah, so if Mayer gets 20 points unanswered in this sprint, had Freilich been damaged as a result of an accident there, then the championship would certainly go the way of Mayer. 10 laps to go, so halfway pretty much. And yeah, Mayer now in the race lead, so he has the 20 points for the sprint race win. For Freilich for P7, as he's got 9 points. So Heigo, Poom in the background just done the maths.
Just outside of he's just outside of championship continuing contention, I should say. Needs that P6 that Crop currently occupies. Frelick didn't quite take a crop. I think was lucky to escape any penalty. Being the back of Lucchini. As up the inside comes Clapham on Vincent Gutt. And Mayer actually gets it very, very early on the brakes there into turn.
Yeah, I suppose he's playing it a little bit safe, maybe trying to shock and awe those drivers ahead of him, but around the outside, Clapham back goes. Hopefully it's not a case of a third error out of turn 9. No, he does hold it this time. And yeah, TCS off. Really would appreciate these points. Having Lahoo falling all the way back down. Lahoo, yeah, 19th, the pits again, so yeah, Lahoo just probably wants to go for fastest lap, to be honest. Here's a look at Crop's fallout from having hit Lucchini. Then there's Martin, and then we go a little bit further back. So here's the dive bomb just at the 75 meter. Yeah, he's snapped into the Alpha Delta, but he does carry on without damaging himself or his opponent. We're going to probably view how Jack Mayer became the race leader. This is Sector 3. They're in now. There we go, turn 9. That's the certainly the popular overtaking point. It's very plausible moment.
Clapham back as well.
Yeah, Clapham back
very
also
nearly took advantage too. And Vincent Jody had to get his teeth out here to sort of chew onto that lead and hold on to it, by the skin of his teeth, so to speak, to really labour that metaphor. But now Vincent is going to fight tooth and nail here because NetRex have really have not really gained the ground I think they would have hoped, as we see Lucchini is out. That's Lucchini out of the top 4 then, so something has gone horribly wrong there for the Alpha Delta, and that's a big shame because he's holding on for second quite a lot of that race.
Yeah, he'll be crestfallen by that one. But now Carlos Martin versus Maritz Krop. Another example of these two drivers going head to head tonight. Martin going long, but watch out for those curbs. Yes, thankfully didn't see it repeat what Alex Lahoo unfortunately felt on lap 1. Freilich watching. He has the preservation position, I suppose we'll call it, to stay just about inside the championship hunt for Interlagos, but he'll need ideally to spot the gap and defeat Martin and Krop for the second time tonight, get himself 4th place and 13 points. So it's kind of that's a major wreckage in
so he's lost it at turn 3 in the
turn 3-4. Yeah,
he's lost it big time as well.
Yeah, could have been the sausage curbs. He's maybe out of turn 3. Yeah, here comes turn 3. Yeah, all those curbs. The regular curbs actually took him off, and that's an absolute train. Well, I suppose a car wreck there, taking him well and truly out of the race.
Will be happy though, because that's, as you say, has put him into that P6. And here comes Clapham back on Vincent Gutt, trying to go for second here. Up the inside at turn 5, is Vincent going to leave enough space? Yes, he is, but he will retake the inside. Then Clapham just avoids hitting the back of him and gets really squirrely on the rear axle. And now the DRS goes wide open, and Vincent does not get it from the back of Jack Mayer. So Clapham back, if he wants to go for the win, needs to pull this off, has to go the long way round. And there we go, up to P2. But look behind, Moritz Krop and Martin continuing to squabble.
Oh, so close. Yeah, this is just more intense battling between these two.
It plays into Freilich's hands as well.
Yeah, so earlier on, but with Freilich behind, he's just got to stay patient for a little bit longer. This stage, if you haven't pitted by now on a strategy, so yeah, I suppose my earlier point at the beginning of the race 2 broadcast was wrong. Yeah, this will be a 0-stop race.
Alex Lahoo is pit, but nobody else is, sadly.
Yeah, he is out of the points at the moment, so he's just going for broke, really. So yeah, it is a 0-stopper. Everyone on the harder compound tires to the finish. Wide for Krop. Seems a common occurrence to have the runoff being used.
He gained a bit there, if anything.
Yeah. Quite possibly so, yeah, he made the gain. Yeah, he must have certainly gained some time. Freilich, what's available to him? Yeah, with Mary Watson behind, not quite close enough though. Yeah, Freilich won't get the move done into this corner. But Jack Mayer continues to lead. He's broken DRS on Clapham back. So he has the ability to command the race for this moments. He's lapping about equal to his young rival for today. We'll check out the sector times. Yeah, Klaffenbach gains a 10th. So one more of those and he'll be laughing and around the outside. Szymon Frelick has done it. One more place to help him stay in the battle head, and that looked to be a beauty.
Yeah, really had to fully commit there. Carlos Martin, full marks to him. He was extremely cooperative on the inside there. But wow, Szymon Frelick is absolutely giving it everything tonight to try and keep this title fight open.
Yeah, he certainly is. So yeah, he had the move completed at the entry to 9. So yeah, it's pure DRS move. He's got the power down, 6th gear, flat out, heading towards the turn-in point, down to 3rd. Yes, that is exemplary driving under the highest stakes. Oh no, that's Martin into the scenery. He's going to be out of the race.
Praising him as well.
His teammate Watson. Yeah, it would have been a tragedy for that team to have lost both drivers. But yeah, it's game over for Carlos Martin. He won't be in contention for another point scoring round here after our 2nd place in race 1. And of course, P2 on the grid. Turn 1's AstroTurf. Sort of the mini bump after the curb. Yeah, that sent him ploughing into the wall.
Similar to the Lehu incident on lap 1, where he just beached it on the curb and then it swapped ends on him completely. So this means Lucas Filin, incredibly, has gotten himself into P7 ahead of Jesse Latinen now. So that's going to be a big scoring for him and Santen. But Klaffenbach, look at that purple first sector there. He's flying out there and really closing down. Look, pushing even a little bit too hard as well.
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose, to be honest. TCS off, we'll probably say, yeah, we'd appreciate the points, Mr. Klaffenbach, but if you want to go for the win, then be our guest. It's certainly
and he's Jack Mayer going to fight him as well.
Buffer, yeah. 3-point swing. So just minimise the damage for Frelick's point of view. Lap 15 now, so we're down to the final 5. Is there just any way that Mayer would be unsettled here and give
Prop goes wide again?
Chance? Yeah, a little bit wide again.
My goodness. So we got a freeway fight for 3rd, then Guts being caught by Krop and Frelick catching both of them, and then Klaffenbach could well go for broke here, but he did a banzai move in race 1 on Jack Mayer, but he wasn't quite able to keep the tyres alive. Can he, on the harder compound, just about hold on to it? Because Mayer has been quite strong on this compound, but Klaffenbach just looks that little bit quicker at the moment in this late phase of the race. Has he maybe kept the tyres alive? Here goes Frelick up the inside of Krop. This is going to be risky here for his championship aspirations. Krop does not get a great exit at all, and does Frelick get DRS as well? No, he doesn't actually.
No, he didn't.
There we go. No. That was strategic from Krop then. He's going to go around the outside. Is he going to breeze past? Frelick is going to try and slot right back in behind him. Indeed, he has to do so. So, again, very, very smart driving from the Lunark driver, the Dutchman, Moritz Krop.
Yeah, 10 out of 10 there for Moritz. Now, it's still time for there's still time for Frelick to recover that situation. But yeah, it's Federico Russo in P10 at the moment. He's the last remaining Alpha Delta in this race. You can see the Santen at the top of the queue. And of course, Latinen and Wasserman are in the way. Russo will probably try and unsettle one of these drivers if certainly Latinen is more concerned about what's happening behind him than Federico Russo could put in a big attack. But yeah, for Santen's point of view, they'd be just happy to get off the single digits.
Julian.
Yeah.
Julian needed crashing out there at turn 4, just going as wide as he can to try and get the run. And incredibly, he's getting a little bit of slipstream, and it's just keeping him in play and making Jack Mayer just second guess himself a little bit. As here comes Szymon Frelick. He's going to try again. Can he pull off the move this time? On Moritz Krop. Krop again just slots in behind, waits for the DRS to open up, and Szymon Frelick actually has a bit of a wobbly exit here and wobbles in front of him. He's trying to put Moritz Krop off, and Krop is just going to do exactly what he did the previous lap over. Around the outside he goes.
For sure. Yes, it's just a balancing act, I'm afraid, here for Freilich, and it's just too difficult for Crop to actually fall away.
Getting
and
annoyed
just,
here. Look at him weaving.
Yeah, take his medicine. He won't accept that.
Watson's coming back in them as well because of this.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, Watson also has the pride of the Netrex team to go by because, of course, Martin's out of the race. So let's join Mart's Crop on board. And he just, yeah, there you go. You can see the bit of contact.
Oh, did he tag
very minimal. And there you go, the wobbling and the wiggling off the curves out of 7. And then into 8 and 9 they go. So, yeah, Crop is just far too quick on DRS and with an ideal exit. Made that move count. And so we've got a little bit further back on
annoyed
replay
about the contact. Maybe that was
Yeah.
intentional wiggling because he's annoyed about the contact there that just happened there mid corner.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. That looks like
annoyed
intentional
driver.
to me.
Yeah.
Oh, something's happened.
Oh no!
Oh, it's Julian. He's lost it at turn 4. We said he was risking it a bit there, and now he's dropped behind File, and he's going to drop behind Lattinen, Vasserman, and Russo if he's not careful here. They've got DRS. He doesn't down the straight, and now Freilich is up to 3rd ahead of Omari Watson. Then, so there we go.
Maritz Crop has vanished from the race. Maritz Crop is gone.
Oh,
so
DNF.
what happened?
Did they
Yeah,
both
just
crash
an
into each other?
awkward-
Maybe.
Maybe, yeah. We're going to have to go back to Heigo's replays here, to be honest. This has blown everything completely apart, and Freilich will be relieved, to say the least. So here we go, action replay. Maritz Crop for Lunark here. He's minding his own business, still ahead of Freilich, heading down to turn 5. Oh, and he's already lost it! A huge shunt side on to the barriers, and yeah, he's got to stop that car, and that would have been independent to Klaffenbach. He was ahead, of course. He wouldn't have known that, but he's just made the mistake at turn 5 on his own. Here it is, chasing down Mayer. He's in the middle of the corner, and the rear end just gives up on him. Oh, maybe just a little too excited.
He thought he could save it like he did in race 1, didn't he?
Yeah, he showed the skills in race 1. Yeah.
He's got back up to 7 though. Karras has somehow gotten into 8th ahead of Russo as well. So Oliver Tarras from 11th is really putting on a late charge, and the second Lunark, despite the fact that Crop is out. But
Look
yeah,
at that
Simon Freilich,
DNF
that must
list,
have
Ed. It means that Crop
goodness,
is actually going to get a point. LeHou, for all his troubles, is in line for 2 points. So race 1 was very civil. The driver stayed the course very neatly, but now race 2, the stakes are very, very high, and a lot of high-profile drivers are out. So yeah, pressure is definitely built up as the exhaustion, I'm sure, wears in.
Mistake from
Top
Freilich.
one. Yeah, and
So
Freilich
Freilich is
some time.
absolutely risking it to try and catch Vincent Gut, isn't he? And Watson could well take advantage if Freilich slips up again on the final lap. So this is very, very tense, of course. Watson trying to limit the damage from Spark, Freilich trying to limit the damage from Mayer in the championship, in the Drivers' Championship. As we see LeHou passing Vasserman for 13th. So Vasserman, I think, is hit trouble in the Pixel 8 because he was running in the top 10 up to this point.
Yeah, so LeHou is again up in position. Tarras versus Klaffenbach. So Klaffenbach, yeah, he really won't want to concede any more ground here. He should still be very, very proud of himself coming in on this fashion, substituting for Loic Meunier. So yeah, it's still be an amazing result for his first go. So yeah, the fact that he could have had a second place, I'm sure he'll say, if he has a quote for us, he'll just say, yeah, that second place was mine and I threw it away. But yeah, it's still a point scoring position for TCS Alpha as things stand. But Omari Watson with the final lap, of course, now underway. The chance for Netrex to minimise the damage to Spark is on the line, but Freilich is the one driver that does not need a distraction. He has to stay in P3 or risk losing his best possible outcome in this race 2. Even the drop of 2 points here will be very, very disappointing. So Watson, can he possibly close in? Maybe Freilich can go +2 instead. Here we go, Ed.
Yeah, Vincent Gut, his pace has really dropped off the last few laps. Freilich might have a chance here if he can just time his move right, but he's a bit too far back. It's going to come down to the run to the line, or is it? Because Vincent Gut goes very, very wide indeed, but gets back on the power, crucially enough for him. So Freilich is going to lose 5 points to Mayer here. It's going to go back up to 40 points by the end of this.
Right you are, but it is a case of TOP domination. right when the spotlight is on the individuals rather than the team. 1 corner to go. Jack Mayer responds with aplomb, and he will take the championship lead with him to Interlagos as the race 2 winner. Vincent Gutt makes his best case for pole position in the reverse grid, P2 in the end. Szymon Frelick still in the hunt for his championship in 3rd place. Mari Watson behind in 4th. Lucas Tyley in P5. That is extraordinary.
Yeah, we didn't talk about the defensive job that Phelan did at all in this race, really. But he passed Lattinen really well early on. I think Phelan and Taris of the graduates from Academy, those two really impressed me today in race 2. And there is Klaffenbauch. Case of really what could have been for him, sadly finishing 11th behind Danny Van Den Eet, another driver who recovered really well from the back of the grid.
Yeah, it got worse for Klaffenbach in the end. Let's examine exactly why. This is the DRS zone before turn 9, so he's on his own. Yeah, he probably has clear track, so he must have overstepped it again in the end. So let's see how he exits the corner. He holds. Yeah, it must be the hotel section, or maybe it's before.
It must have been earlier.
Yeah, it could have been earlier. Yeah, but he's kind of
exposed the run off at turn 3, isn't he?
Ah, there it is.
Yes, right backwards. So that would suggest to me he spun, but somehow avoided the wall. So a little bit luckier than Lucchini then.
Yeah, very much relieved, much more relieved. Yeah, exact same mistake as Lucchini, but he must have skipped over one of the other curbs, facing backwards. That would have been scary. We're going to take a look at Maritz Kropp's eventual downfall. Heavy shunt, even more consequential. Yeah, the understeer at turn 3 guided him just too quickly into the turn 4 wall, and he has to pull over to the right hand side to retire the car. He's got no rear end left. And there we have it, Ed and all our viewers. The championship battle will go to the finale in Interlagos, and here is how it happened in race 2. Jack Mayer gaining some of those points back from Szymon with this race 2 victory. Vincent Gutt giving Spark something to cheer about as their bid for some silverware ended last week and the last couple of weeks, I suppose. Szymon did his best. A very challenging drive once more for him, getting through the grid, having started 9th, getting 3rd place. Mari Watson there had to take the mantle from his teammate who retired, but there you go, P4, very strong result again. Lucas Tylene, a top 5 in the Santen. Now that is absolutely brilliant, so well done to him. Yassi Latinen, similarly enough, P6 for Frisland. Really good job there. Oliver Taras, we saw him struggle in race 1, but a much better showing here in the sprint. Federico Russo, Mateusz Kozowski, and Danny Van Der Neet complete a mixed-up top 10. And, well, the page 2 here, Ed, we've got only 14 finishers, with Klaffenbach falling away from 2nd, but still get some points. Christer Svillo, 12th for Rowan. Alex Lahu, we saw what happened to him on the opening lap. He did most likely he got fastest lap, so he does get more points. David Wasserman, last on circuit, but he was a lap down, but he's classified. Maritz Kropp will get a point for 15th, but did not make it to the finish. And the other drivers that retired, Carlos Martin, Menno Klont, Mirko Lucchini, Joe Gillette, Philip Koenig, Craig Pattison, Juanma Fuentes, and Harry Smith, all out of this race 2 event. Wow, that was a complete contrast to what we saw in the first go of it, Ed. So I'm sure a lot of opinions, a lot of thoughts will be spinning in those drivers' minds.
Yeah, certainly. Do you want to get a couple of those thoughts right now, Eoin? We've got Szymon Frelick and Jack Mayer hanging around, and Vincent Gutt as well, our top 3 from race 2, as well as Alex Lahu is in there as well. So do you fancy Szymon first or Jack?
In here, we tempted to have them together, wouldn't you? It's just so crucial.
Let's see what happens. Let's drag them both in and see what happens.
Okay. Maybe Eoin will want to have a chat as well. So our TOP representatives as a collective are here once again. So congratulations are in order to both our drivers in the TOP team. So Jack, you won the most recent race. You are the championship leader. How do you feel?
I mean, to be fair, I had to outscore Shimon to win today, which I'd done, I think, the last 2 rounds, didn't do today, but Shimon drove great today. So I don't think I could have got much out either. I mean, going into qualifying, I definitely felt like I could have gone for pole, but the lap just never came together. And then in race 1, sticking with the lead train, waiting for the second stint, but yeah, the tyres just weren't working in my favour. So yeah, I didn't really have anything to answer Shimon today, so he deserved the race 1 win. And yeah, we're just focusing on race 2, and yeah, surviving, got into the lead, and just watched the action commence from behind. Really.
Jack,
so that's pretty much sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. Oh, go ahead.
I was going to ask Jack about Mr. Julian Klaffenbach, because in race 1, Klaffenbach went around the outside of you on the penultimate lap, Jack, and then he drifted it into turn 4 and you were able to get back through. Were you worried when you saw he was behind you once both of you got past Vincent in race 2, or did you think, oh, I got this guy?
Race 1, I actually didn't remember it till you brought it up, so thank you. But then so much happened anyway. If I remember rightly, in race 1, his tyres weren't great. I mean, mine weren't either. So
I think he put a lap after you.
I think, yeah, and I know throughout the day he looked like he was taking a lot more out of him anyway. And I was just planning on finishing. I mean, P4 obviously was what I preferred, but if I had to go for P5 to survive, then I mean that's what I mean. I was focused on race 2, take the points back. And then yeah, he's sliding, so he just came back. So I mean that stint I think for him was 16 laps. So to have to do 19 now, when I saw him behind Vincent, I wasn't too worried. I mean, Eoin made sure as well. Like he told me multiple times that Julian was not gonna have the tyres go to the end. There was various bets that he put on that they won't go to the end, and he was right. Yeah, I wasn't really worried, especially when I saw him sliding my mirror. It was Shimon I was more worried about, just the position he was taking. I noticed him coming up the grid and everyone dropping down. So that's all we could look at really in race 2.
You must have been really disheartened. The only person, well, apart from the people crashing, that was also disheartened, Jack, by seeing your competitors part like the Red Sea for someone.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know he had to make some moves himself as well. I mean, it happens throughout the season. You get races where everyone else drops it, and that's what you had to do in race 2. I think a few people forgot that in racing, it's not just driving as quick as possible. You have to get to the end, and quite a lot of people failed that today. So, I mean, the people who finished, I think it was a deserved top 3 especially. So, yeah, no, Shimon drove great both for today.
Yeah, that's thank you very much, Shimon. Now, yeah. So, do you feel you maximised everything you could have done to make sure this title finale is a reality?
Well, I think I've done everything I could have done, but others were a factor, especially in race 2. Yeah, the qualifying, I was surprised I was actually getting the laps in. I did 2 good laps at the beginning, and it just gave me pole. And then in race 1, I was kind of just keeping my pace in the first stint, but then when Moritz went for the undercut, I just I had the most atrocious in lap I've ever had. I think I was 1.5 seconds down on my PB, so that was not great. And yeah, then it was trying to get past Moritz, who banked on more top speed, but it didn't bode well for his rear tire wear. So after passing him, it was just going to the end to take the win. But race 2, I was in the wars. That was just frustration. But somehow I ended up P3 in it. First, I lost 2 positions to the guys behind me because I guess they didn't have much to lose. And also I did take bad lines through the corners, which just put me off. But then, yeah, it was just getting past and I could have gotten P2 if it wasn't for Moritz, which just in the chicane drove into my rear end, just didn't allow me to get away on the exit and just re-overtook me. I was very annoyed about that. And then he spun off the next lap, which, well, I guess thanks, but that just cost me the opportunity to get Vincent at the end.
Yeah, I think we saw you wiggling, Simon, after the contact with Moritz. So I think he tapped the back of you at turn 5 and 6.
Because I got ahead of him on the apex, I was fully ahead. So I was trying to keep as most of the inside as possible to get the best exit I could get for the next corner of the chicane. But he just drove up my ass and lifted my rears, which, you know, you can't really accelerate when your rears are in the air. And he actually drove twice into my rear end, so I just couldn't get away, and he just re-overtook me.
Yeah, well, I suppose now you have ensured there is one last opportunity to become champion. So unfortunately, it's going to be a case of you need to dominate both of those races, get all of the advantages you can in Shimon, and just have to hope that something out of your control happens. So it's going to be very, very tough. But do you believe could it happen?
Well, there is a possibility. Like there, if it's possible, there is a possibility. But I even into going into this race, I was just Jack kept talking about the gap, about the championship, and I was just like blanking out when he was talking, and then I just answered, I don't care. So I just drove today, and I'm gonna drive again 2 weeks in 2 weeks, and I guess it all depends on Jack if he wants to win it.
I wouldn't mind it.
That's exactly what we love to hear, isn't it, Eoin? And speaking of Eoin, we should talk to the other Eoin as well, because we've not let him say anything yet. Team manager of TOP. So Eoin McGorgy, you must have been watching that with as bated breath and interest as we were. A few tense moments in there, but the championship gap at 40 points then, of course. No favoritism either way, of course, between Jack and Simon over who's going to win. But how was today for you?
It was quite fun, to be honest. I really enjoyed race 2, just watching the mess that unfolded. There wasn't really much race engineering going on in that race 2. It was just laughing and
Well, no pit
making
stops either,
jokes.
of course.
Yeah. Well, race 1, I don't really remember much. I didn't do much talking then either. It was just challenged him on that he's far enough ahead of Moritz, or Moritz is close and he has to defend. And then telling Jack that he's free to pit, and then having Craig come out right in front of him, which was quite funny.
Not funny.
It was good. It was good to watch, and funny to hear Jack get a bit annoyed. But I said before the round to both of them to make it as close as possible, and I hope Jack bottles it so they go into the last round on equal points to make it fun, because it's 40 points, and I'm pretty sure I can put quite a bit of money on this that Jack will win the championship if he doesn't bottle it on purpose or something.
Well, let's hope those words don't come back to haunt anybody, Eoin.
Yeah, well, I appreciate everyone's time in the TLP squad. So yeah, Jack, Shimon, and Eoin, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck for the next 2 weeks while you prepare for Interlagos.
Thank you, guys. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, congrats.
Thank you. See ya.
Shall we bring in Vincent next?
I think we should.
Vincent, can you hear us?
Hey, yo, hello. Am I unmuted? Just
No,
asking.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I mean, from the broadcast. Just wanted to make sure. Cool. Okay, hello.
don't know. You'd have to ask Heigo.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all good there.
Yeah.
So yeah, Spark, probably a case of looking behind at Netrex in the championship, but a 9th place in race 1, followed by reverse grid Paul, and you made a brilliant use of it with P2. So do you think that was a successful run for you?
Definitely, yeah. Race 1 was a bit boring. I got 1-2 positions at the beginning, and then there was a 2-second gap to the car ahead, Lucchini, and it increased a bit. And Frank lost some time to me, so yeah, I drove alone for quite a while. And then I got lucky with the reverse grid pole. Kept pushing in the first few laps until Jack was close. And the first time I thought, don't try it here, place we would lose just time. The next lap or 2 laps later, he was very close, and I thought, okay, let him by, get in his DRS, because I knew we hadn't a lot of top speed, so he could pull me with him. So to keep P2 or the podium, I wasn't looking at the win because Jack was behind me. He's the championship leader. I knew he was quite a lot quicker than me. So defending the podium was more important than racing him for the victory. Yeah. And I kept it because behind me there was a battle with Shimon and Moritz, and it was just enough for me to stay ahead. I'm happy.
Yeah, well, you probably should be happy, Vincent, because that's your best result of the season, P2.
Yeah.
And it was really hard fought, especially when not just Mayer, but Klaffenbach got through as well, and then spun out in front of you, I believe.
Yeah.
It was very, very up and down. And I was impressed in commentary you were able to hold on to lead for so long. It really took a lot of effort from Jack, especially, to eventually get past you.
Yeah, it took like 2 laps or 3 laps or so. It wasn't a lot for him.
Still quite a few laps.
Yeah, but I was a bit more surprised that I was able to create a quite big gap already in the first 2 laps, but just not enough to stay out of DRS. That Lucchini is out of DRS. I think in the hairpin and at the end of Sector 1, beginning of Sector 2, it was almost a second already. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely pulled out a second at one point, but yeah, unfortunately didn't last.
So crucially, Vincent, in the battle with Netrex, you because you beat Watson, you gained a few points after a really brutal race 1 for Spark in terms of the points, because Netrex got both cars, I think, in the top 6 in the end. So do you think Interlagos you can just hold on, or do you think Netrex are going to be too strong? Is Thomas coming back, by the way?
No, he isn't. He's at uni now.
It's going to be tricky then.
Yeah. And I have to look who will race for Spark the next race, because Craig can't race anymore. He did his 4 races as an emergency, and he isn't allowed to do more. I don't know what's the gap now. What was it before? Do you know it?
It was, I
before
think,
they started
30 points going into
30.
race 1.
So it should be now maybe 20?
Something like that. I think it might be slightly less than 20, because, like I said, they scored a lot of points in race.
And it will be difficult. I was looking already quite a while back to them. I never looked at TOP. They were clear. But the fight against Netrex, I knew it will be close, because Tom isn't able to do the last races, and he scored a lot of points for the team, and I'm really thankful for him that he was my teammate. And it will be difficult now.
Play, you definitely stepped up to the mark today, though, in his absence, and that P2 be gold dust by the end of the season. So congrats on the best finish of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah, a strong job there, Vincent, and good luck finding a teammate, and indeed the preparation for Interlagos. So thanks so much for your time.
Thank you. Bye.
You'd think it would be an easy pitch though. Join Spark and fight for P2 in FS1 Championship.
Yeah, it's definitely a high selling point. Alex Lahoo, can we bring him in?
Oh, we've always got time for Alex. You know that.
Yeah, of course. Alex, can you hear us? Hi.
Yep.
Well, I commented on your race 1 performance as anonymous. You were 11th, I believe, and I barely had time to comment on your race. So, do you mind describing how race 1 went for you?
Oh yeah, perfectly. The podium feels nice. I was nowhere. 30 seconds behind the lead. I was losing 1 second per lap. All of that because of a minor setup change just before qualifying that I made out of a suggestion. Yeah,
I wouldn't be
not great.
sabotaging the team who suggested that, was it?
So yeah, I'm gonna blame it on myself though because I did the change anyway. And yeah, for race 2 it was fixed and the pace was back. But yeah, why would you send it there at the end of the second back straight? Why would you just go on the inside? You're not even alongside. It just pushed me wide. With the dirt here, I end up on the curb that bottoms
I'm
me
not
out.
sure exactly which incident you're talking about,
very
Alex.
first lap,
That
I
was so
think.
chaotic.
The one where I spawned on the
especially from your
curb.
point of view.
Yeah.
Oh, with Simon.
No, well, Simon was behind you. But yeah, this
Was it
one, I got
entirely
sent wide, literally contact. I got damage from this. And then it was over. Yeah, done and
You were
dusted.
fighting with Martin, if I remember correctly, in the net race.
Yeah,
Or was it
yeah, it was.
There's a lot of people
sadly.
fighting each other on that first lap.
Yeah.
But,
It's unfortunate.
Wow, you did well to survive it.
I'm not really sure very well would be the word to qualify it, but hey, I got points. 4 points.
You did, and you got fastest
Yeah,
lap too,
fastest lap.
despite the incident where you opened the DRS and did a big 360 behind Menno, and then
Oh my god.
Was it Joe Gillette spun fighting Menno and caused a pile up ahead of you? You'd lost your front wing, but you were still
That
able
was
to gain
super.
places because of that. That was a crazy moment.
That was amazing. So Menno moves. I moved to the left. Menno moves to the left to a quick right, but I had the DRS open. So there I go. Too much steering,
Just a
too much correction,
attempt at overtaking them.
and boom, 360. 15 percentiles less. Tire wear. And then right ahead, what are they doing? They are fighting. Then someone spins right, I guess, and chaos ensues. So there you go. My 2 races summarized. 13 points. Vincent got 26, and I have a 26 gap to cover to him in the final round. So I guess we're gonna buy an F1 car and hop on Brazil, I guess.
Yeah, the good news in the teams table is that Multiforce GP didn't score very many points either. So I think they're actually still quite close to you in the battle for 5th in the teams championship. So especially thanks to your young teammate Julian, he did a very impressive job today, didn't he?
Yeah, mega job today from him. Mega job. I reckon if I didn't make the tiny mistake just before qualifying, I should have been up there, definitely. I should have been up there. Period. Yeah, silly mistakes cost you.
Many drivers. It's your story many times this season as well, Alex. Should have and could have. But,
yeah, I mean, congrats to Shimon for the race 1 victory, and I think it was Jack for race 2. Yeah, it was Shimon double podium, P1, P3. Incredible job from him. Vincent P2 as well. He made good use of the reverse pole position. He got lucky on this one. Hey, he managed to get the luck to work and got P2 anyways. So, incredible job from him.
Some people get luck, don't they, Alex?
No, it's fine. It's part of the game. It's part of the game.
Very true.
Can't really blame it. And yeah, Carlos and I think it was Moritz for race 1 got the podium. Congrats to them.
Well, well done on the fastest lap at the very least, and I'm sure we're going to see you back to your best at Interlagos. Is it the track you love, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, last year definitely proves it, I guess. Fun track
yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
It's still coming back to me, F into Lagos, Katia. And you've
Yeah, I have to replicate this performance so I can overtake Vincent in the championship.
You also got
P9.
FSR
Damn.
on Sunday. I'm also going to see you again.
Oh
so-
no, FSR! No!
Pro. Yeah, you're still doing pro, aren't
I
you?
almost forgot. Yeah. I kind of almost forgot to think about it. I was
You don't
about
have to do
to
any
completely
extra
forget.
practice because it's the same track. So
I've got some practice in at least. I've got the layout in. I've drove last year as well. It's okay, but I guess that's not
You
the
can remember that
subject we're in
far, right?
GPV.
Counts as practice. Anyway, thanks for talking to us, Alex, and we'll see you next time.
Right. See you guys. Thank you. And have a good evening, Ed and Owen. And Heigo as well.
Yeah, much appreciated. So where does that leave us now, Ed? Is that the end, or?
Yeah, I think Latin and Ataris are still around, but they're in the race director's land, so I assume they don't want to talk to us. But shout out to both of them. I think they were really on fire, especially Oliver in race 2. But Yasse in qualifying race 1 and race 2 was really superb for Friesland. I think both of them can feel very proud of themselves, but even though they don't want to talk to us clearly.
Yeah, Yasse was really consistent. One of the most composed of the 2 races, getting 7th and 6th. So yeah, he made a very strong showing, and of course Oliver bounced back superbly in race 2, getting that 7th place just behind Yasse. So
wasn't Oliver P5 in race 2?
Oliver's 7th in race 2, but he was miles back in race 1, I believe. Didn't have a good time.
That was it. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I think Latin got him near the end, didn't he? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been hard to remember because so much happened.
Yeah, a lot did happen for sure. Yeah, I believe that's all we have time for you this evening. Really, really important evening, particularly for Shimon Frelick. He stays in the championship hunt, but Jack Mayer is pretty much top 10 away from clinching the championship for definite. But I'm sure you'll want to tune in for that in the next fortnight. So from myself, Eoin Harmon, Edward Hunter beside me, and Heigo Poom in the broadcast direction, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you for the finale of the 2023 FS1 campaign. I can't wait. See you then. Bye-bye.
Bye.